red of the Infernal Lord's skin to set the tone of his powers. On the other hand, the ring around his wrist and the flames surrounding him are the main elements of the special effect. In terms of designing technology, as this is a legend skin, the special effect is built via complex modeling techs. As such, the designer had exclusively designed and created models for the demonic power and firewall unleashed by Valir to add realistic touch and texture to its special effect while not creating much system consumption. As for the mark after Valir successfully hits his enemies, the designer had chosen the ancient Eastern Flames totem as a reference for the design, then finished it with a black, gold, and red color scheme for a mysterious and majestic touch. When Valir casts Burst Fireball, the fireball will be unleashed in a demon form, and the target who is hit by the ability will be engulfed in infernal flames. When casting Searing Torrent, a huge demon engulfed in flames will charge toward the target, as if it is devouring its enemy. The special effect of both skills differs after enhancing. After enhancing, the firewall left by Searing Torrent is formed by a furious glance of a beast, hence arousing the vibes of Eastern myth. Valir's appearance changes upon casting his ultimate ability. To set the tone of the superiority of an infernal lord, the designer has made Valir hover in blazing flames to assert majesticity. And that's all for the Valir Infernal Blazes special effect design commentary. Don't forget to experience the power of flames when the skin comes online. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
To engage.
Legendary! First blood. You have slain an enemy.
Now fear.
Legendary!
Charge.
Enemy has been slain. Shut down.
Protect the fairy forest.
Godlike. Our base is under attack.
I will
Legendary!
Those who stand in my way, die! Bow before the King of the Inferno! Come! Candle Moth! All will die away in ashes, and you are no exception!
2021 telah menjadi satu tahun yang hebat untuk Mobile Legends Bang Bang dan jutaan terima kasih kepada semua komuniti MLBB di seluruh dunia atas sokongan dan semangat anda. Sekarang, mari kita lihat apa yang telah kita capai setakat ini dan apa lagi yang anda boleh jangkakan tahun ini. Mari kita mulakan dengan kejuaraan dunia M2 yang berlangsung pada bulan Januari tahun ini, di mana pemain dari 8 negara merentas dunia ke Singapura menjalani kuarantin di samping protokol keselamatan yang ketat demi merealisasikan kejohanan offline ketika dilanda wabak.
Welcome to M2 World Championships live from Singapore.
M2 menjadi kejohanan rasmi Mobile Legends Bang Bang yang paling banyak ditonton. Lebih daripada 3 juta penonton menyaksikannya secara langsung, menjadikannya salah satu kejohanan terkenal di dunia Esports. Piala Mobile Legends Bang Bang Asia Tenggara atau MSC 2021 yang baru berakhir
Welcome to MSC 2021.
mempunyai puncak 2.2 juta penonton, hampir 10 kali lebih banyak daripada MSC lalu. Selain itu, Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League di seluruh rantau ini memecah rekod dengan MPL Indonesia menarik penonton seramai 1.8 juta penonton. Di seberang lautan, MPL Filipina merekod lebih dari 1.4 juta penonton. Sementara MPL Malaysia dan Singapura kedua-duanya memperoleh jumlah penonton yang tinggi. Secara kolektif, MLB kini menjadi salah satu esports yang paling banyak ditonton di dunia dan komuniti semakin membesar. Terima kasih kepada semua peminat MLBB. Keluarga MPL semakin bertambah. Kami bakal melancarkan MPL Brazil pada bulan Jun dan MPL Kemboja pada bulan Julai. Tidak lupa juga MPL Filipina baru saja beralih ke Liga Franchise untuk musim ke-8 yang akan datang. Semua pencapaian ini hanyalah permulaan kerana bakat MLBB di seluruh dunia akan memulakan perjalanan ke puncak. Ya, tekaan anda tepat. M3 akan berlangsung pada akhir tahun 2021 di mana pasukan hebat dari wilayah MPL di samping pemenang kelayakan wilayah bukan MPL akan bertanding di satu lokasi. Ia adalah jalan panjang bergelombang menuju M3. Pasukan mana yang akan mendapat tiket untuk menjadi salah satu daripada 16 pasukan dan menamatkan perlumbaan to the top.
Hi everyone! The brand new Valier Infernal Blaze Legend skin will be available online on the 16th of October. Are you not excited?
I am the raging fire, the manifestation of ancient myths.
In this video, we would like to showcase the skin's cool visual effects and its design highlights. When creating the special effects, the designer utilizes the black and red of the Infernal Lord's skin to set the tone of his powers. On the other hand, the ring around his wrist and the flames surrounding him are the main elements of the special effect. In terms of designing technology, as this is a legend skin, the special effect is built via complex modeling text. As such, the designer had exclusively designed and created models for the demonic power and firewall unleashed by Valier to add realistic touch and texture to its special effect while not creating much system consumption. As for the mark after Valier successfully hits his enemies, the designer had chosen the ancient Eastern Flames totem as a reference for the design, then finished it with a black, gold, and red color scheme for a mysterious and majestic touch. When Valier casts Burst Fireball, the fireball will be unleashed in a demon form, and the target who is hit by the ability will be engulfed in infernal flames. When casting Searing Torrent, a huge demon engulfed in flames will charge toward the target, as if it is devouring its enemy. The special effect of both skills differs after enhancing. After enhancing, the firewall left by Searing Torrent is formed by a furious glance of a beast, hence arousing the vibes of Eastern myth. Valier's appearance changes upon casting his ultimate ability. To set the tone of the superiority of an infernal lord, the designer has made Valir hover in blazing flames to assert majesticity. And that's all for the Valir Infernal Blazes special effect design commentary. Don't forget to experience the power of flames when the skin comes online. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
All steam ready to engage.
Legendary! First blood. You have slain an enemy.
Shall fear me.
Legendary!
Charge.
Enemy has been slain. Shut down.
Protect the fairy forest.
Godlike. Our base is under attack.
I will
Legendary!
Those who stand in my way, die! Bow before the King of the Inferno! Come, Candle Moth! All will die away in ashes, and you are no exception!
It is better to be feared than loved.
Dua 2021 telah menjadi satu tahun yang hebat untuk Mobile Legends Bang Bang dan jutaan terima kasih kepada semua komuniti MLBB di seluruh dunia atas sokongan dan semangat anda. Sekarang, mari kita lihat apa yang telah kita capai setakat ini dan apa lagi yang anda boleh jangkakan tahun ini. Mari kita mulakan dengan kejuaraan dunia M2 yang berlangsung pada bulan Januari tahun ini, di mana pemain dari 8 negara merentas dunia ke Singapura menjalani kuarantin di samping protokol keselamatan yang ketat demi merealisasikan kejohanan offline ketika dilanda wabak.
Welcome to M2 World Championships live from Singapore.
M2 menjadi kejohanan rasmi MobileLegend Bang Bang yang paling banyak ditonton. Lebih daripada 3 juta penonton menyaksikannya secara langsung, menjadikannya salah satu kejohanan terkenal di dunia Esports. Piala Mobile Legends Bang Bang Asia Tenggara atau MSC 2021 yang baru berakhir
Welcome to MSC 2021.
mempunyai puncak 2.2 juta penonton, hampir 10 kali lebih banyak daripada MSC lalu. Selain itu, Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League di seluruh rantau ini memecah rekod dengan MPL Indonesia menarik penonton seramai 1.8 juta penonton. Di seberang lautan, MPL Filipina merekod lebih dari 1.4 juta penonton. Sementara MPL Malaysia dan Singapura, kedua-duanya memperoleh jumlah penonton yang tinggi. Secara kolektif, MLB kini menjadi salah satu esports yang paling banyak ditonton di dunia dan komuniti semakin membesar. Terima kasih kepada semua peminat MLBB. Keluarga MPL semakin bertambah. Kami bakal melancarkan MPL Brazil pada bulan Jun dan MPL Kemboja pada bulan Julai. Tidak lupa juga MPL Filipina baru saja beralih ke Liga Franchise untuk musim ke-8 yang akan datang. Semua pencapaian ini hanyalah permulaan kerana bakat MLBB di seluruh dunia akan memulakan perjalanan ke puncak. Ya, tekaan anda tepat. M3 akan berlangsung pada akhir tahun 2021 di mana pasukan hebat dari wilayah MPL di samping pemenang kelayakan wilayah bukan MPL akan bertanding di satu lokasi. Ia adalah jalan panjang bergelombang menuju M3. Pasukan mana yang akan mendapat tiket untuk menjadi salah satu daripada 16 pasukan dan menamatkan perlumbaan to the top.
Ready to engage.
Legendary. First blood. You have slain an enemy.
Shall fear me.
Legendary.
Charge.
Enemy has been slain. Shut down.
Protect the fairy forest.
Onslaught. Our base is under attack.
I will
Legendary.
Those who stand in my way, die! Bow before the King of the Inferno! Come, Candle Moth! All will die away in ashes, and you are no exception!
welcome back to MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-8 playoff. Dan anda semua bersama saya Fira Fendi di bahagian backstage. Untuk pengetahuan anda semua, ini merupakan siaran langsung untuk Grand Final Best of 7 di antara tim Todak menentang tim SMG selepas ini. Seperti yang kita tahu, keadaan tak mengizinkan untuk kita mempunyai ramai penonton di sini. Apa kata sekarang Fira nak bawa korang tengok apa yang ada dekat backstage ni. So, Fira kat sini nak tunjuk dekat korang dulu. Mungkin ramai yang nampak dekat story-story, dekat gambar-gambar dan juga social media player. Inilah tempat di mana mereka menunjukkan jersey-jersey mereka. Okey, ini ada kita ada Suhas Esports, kita ada RSG, kita ada Geekfam, kita ada Team Bosku, kita ada Homeboys, kita ada Orange Esports. Dan mungkin ini adalah kebetulan, ini memang tak plan, tak ada ubah, tak ada apa. Macam yang korang nampak sekarang, dua pasukan terakhir inilah yang berada di Grand Final hari ini. Kita ada Team SMG, kita ada Todak MLBB. Ini merupakan 8 tim yang berjaya mara ke playoff. Tetapi kini hanya 2 sahaja yang bakal mewakili Malaysia untuk ke M3 dan hanya 1 sahaja yang bakal bergelar champion untuk MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-8. Jadi kita dah tengok dekat terowong ni. Sekarang Fira nak tunjuk pula dekat korang apa yang ada dekat bilik player. Tetapi kali ini agak berlainan. Kita tak bawa bilik yang ada player sebab kesemua player sekarang telah bersedia untuk ke Grand Final. Kita pun tak naklah kacau discussion diorang sebab kita tahu benda ni sangat-sangat serius. Nak menang tau. Okay, so kalau korang nak tahu, dekat sini kita cuma ada 4 bilik sahaja. Jadi bila habis match, tim-tim ni akan bertukar lah sebab kita nak limitkan pergerakan player dekat sini. Jadi seperti yang anda nampak sekarang, ini adalah bilik orange buff. Okay, jom kita masuk. Okay, sebab mungkin ramai yang nak tahu apa yang player-player tengok kan. Okay, seperti yang korang nampak, ini adalah kerusi-kerusi macam selalu Fira buat player room semua tu. Tapi yang specialnya, mungkin cuba korang zoom sikit. Okay, nampak tak dekat bahagian atas kita ada banyak red zona. Okay, player-player kebanyakannya diorang akan pakai red zona dulu sebelum mereka naik ke atas pentas ataupun ke mana-mana saja untuk mendapat 5 kali kesegaran. Dan seperti yang anda nampak sekarang, ini adalah gaming chair daripada Secret Lab. Okay, kalau korang nak beli ke apa, korang boleh cari online dekat social media Secret Lab sendiri. Seperti yang kita tahu, Secret Lab merupakan salah satu sponsor kita. Okay, barang banyak, red zona ada, kerusi ada, dan inilah apa yang dipergunakan oleh player-player kita. Dan kita kan. Ini pula adalah Nescafe. So tak kisahlah player ke coach diorang bila-bila nak guna ke, diorang akan gunakan ini juga untuk menikmati kesegaran diorang. Okay, korang perasan tak setiap kali Fira masuk bilik player, Fira tak pernah tunjuk dekat korang bahagian ni. Kalau korang nak tahu, ini adalah bahagian whiteboard di mana sebelum match diorang akan buat discussion. Diorang akan tulis meta-meta diorang dan apa perbincangan diorang dan juga plan seterusnya. Sebab itu Fira tak bawa korang masuk bilik Todak ataupun bilik SMG sebab selepas ini perlawanan yang sangat-sangat penting untuk diorang. So takkanlah kita nak kacau privacy diorang, betul tak? So alang-alang kita dah tengok player room, kita tengok pula apa yang ada dekat luar semula. Selalu korang nampak lah TV tu ada sponsor, korang nampak belakangnya ada piala, tapi piala dah tak ada kat sini sebab piala tu akan berada di atas pentas sebentar saja lagi. Okay, tengok pula dekat bahagian sini, kita ada lagi 2 bilik. Ini adalah bilik untuk player Todak dan ini pula adalah bilik yang digunakan oleh player Orange Esports sebentar saja tadi. Okay, macam yang korang nampak sekarang ni, sebelah Todak ada tim SMG. Kita dekat sini dekat MPL tak rancang langsung untuk letak SMG dengan Todak sebelah-sebelah. Tetapi inilah yang membuatkan jodoh mereka kuat. Akhirnya mereka berdua lah yang akan mewakili Malaysia untuk ke M3 dan juga yang bersaing untuk kita punya Grand Final. Jadi selepas ini kita akan menyaksikan Best of 7 untuk Grand Final. Tetapi kita ada video khas yang disediakan oleh Menteri Belia dan Sukan kita, iaitu Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal bin Datuk Azumu. Jadi apa kata kita saksikan bersama-sama.
Saudara-saudari, pemain dan peminat e-sukan, terima kasih kerana diberi peluang untuk berucap di kejohanan Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League hari ini. Since its early days, the esports industry has empowered and provided the youth with various opportunities to rise up and become professional athletes, production staff, league operations, and other prospective careers in this internationally recognized sports. The growth trajectory of the esports industry has been nothing less than phenomenal, and it is now seen as a legitimized sport due to the level of energy, training, strategy, and reflexes that one needs to compete. Thanks to the hard work of the esports community. Saya amat percaya e-sukan akan terus berkembang dengan lebih pesat di masa hadapan dan pihak Kementerian Belia dan Sukan KBS akan terus berusaha untuk memikul tanggungjawab untuk mengembangkan e-sukan di Malaysia. Saya ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan terima kasih kepada MPL Malaysia yang telah menjadi salah sebuah liga yang mendorong perkembangan e-sukan di Malaysia dan kini telah menjadi pemangkin bagi mobile esports di Asia Tenggara. Seperti yang kita telah maklum, acara playoffs MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 ini sedang dijalankan secara offline di mana para peminat dapat hadir sebagai penonton buat pertama kalinya sejak negara kita dilanda wabak pandemik COVID-19. Ini hanya dapat dilakukan dengan usaha dan kerjasama antara staf MPL Malaysia, ESI, tim KBS dan terutama sekali peminat MPL Malaysia. Kepada semua pemain hari ini, semoga pasukan yang terbaik menang dan GG kepada semua.
MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 playoffs dikuasai oleh Munton. Para with KFC disegahkan oleh Rexona Man Digital Telco Rasmi Yudu raikan bersama Nescafe. Penaja lokasi Tropicana Convention rakan isukan TikTok, WeTV, Secret Lab dan juga Esports Charts. Selamat datang kepada Grand Finals Malaysia, MPL Malaysia musim ke-8. Anda dekat Analyst Desk bersama saya Lafel dan juga Arta. Arta, apakah perasaan anda sekali ini kita dah pergi ke Grand Finals?
Grand Final yang ditunggu-tunggu oleh kesemua rakyat Malaysia, di mana kita dah melihat pelbagai match yang diadakan sepanjang 3 hari ini, dan ini adalah Grand Final tentukan siapa yang akan menjuarai musim yang ke-8 ini.
Ya, dekat sini again kita dah tahu di mana kedua-dua tim akan pergi ke M3, tetapi mereka nak menjadi champion because the boasting rights dan juga the prize pool. So sekarang ni Arta, kita akan tengok balik kedua-dua tim. We have to look at the facts. Apa yang tim SMG nak lakukan dan apa yang tim Todak nak lakukan. Sebelum tu saya nak cerita pasal contested picks dan juga saya punya highlighted players, di mana Zion Sempoy dan juga Moon kedua-dua adalah mid laner untuk tim masing-masing dan mereka adalah the king of mages. Dan pada pendapat saya itu antara players yang kita kena tengok. Yang kedua adalah the carries, Sasa dan juga Chiku, di mana kedua-dua player boleh diharapkan pada bahagian late game. Jadi mari kita mulakan perbincangan di antara keempat-empat player ini.
Kalau berdasarkan player, kalau kita highlight kepada yang sebelum ini, yang kita tahu adalah Todak pernah menjuarai MPL musim yang ke-6. Minta maaf. Manakala tim SMG sepanjang diorang berada di MPL kali ini, diorang meletakkan di tempat ke-7 dan ke-8. Tetapi di MPL kali ini, diorang melayakkan diri diorang pergi kepada Grand Final. Berbalik kepada soalan kepada Lafel tadi, apa yang saya nampak di antara kefahaman di antara kedua-dua pasukan ataupun player yang diperkatakan oleh Lafel tadi, apa yang menunjuk, apa yang menarik bagi saya, di mana kita dah nampak yang Sasa dan Chiku, potensi diorang, experience diorang yang diorang ada di pentas MLBB ini sangat-sangat mengejutkan dan sangat-sangat besar experience yang diorang lalui. Tetapi Moon dan juga Zaim Sempoy Moon lebih ke hadapan kerana pernah masuk kepada M1, M2 dan juga M3. Tetapi Zaim masih lagi berada di tempat yang boleh dikatakan mampu menyaingi pasukan Todak sebenarnya.
Alright, so I nak fokuskan kepada heroes. Ini antara hero yang I rasa akan menjadi contested pick sama ada pick dan juga ban. Pakito. Team SMG win. Sebagai jungler boleh menggunakan Pakito. Sama juga dengan Forbase. Forbase boleh menggunakan Pakito jungle dan juga Pakito dekat EXP lane. Kemudian Selena, Moon dan juga Zaim Sempoi. Kedua-dua players ni bukan saja boleh buka map dengan besar dengan dia punya Abyssal Arrow. Tetapi, Abyssal Trap dan Abyssal Arrow mereka selalu kena. Yi Senshin juga, Chiku dan juga Sasa. Kedua-dua players suka untuk menggunakan. And then the rest of the heroes, Cho, Ling dan Hayabusa, especially bila lawan dengan Win. Tadi, tim Todak berlawan dengan tim Orange. Mereka tak risau sangat kerana Ling Eza jarang menggunakan Assassins. Dia lebih suka fighter dekat kawasan jungle. Tetapi bila nak lawan dengan Win, dia suka Assassins. Jadi Ling, Hayabusa, hero-hero macam ni kita kena perhatikan. Dan jangan lupa juga Lancelot daripada Win. Jadi pada pendapat saya, ke-6 hero ni kita perlu perhatikan.
Sepanjang MPL ini berlangsung, kita dah nampak permainan di antara pasukan tim SMG dan juga tim Todak. Tetapi highlight yang saya boleh katakan pada game kali ini, role manakah yang diorang nak main? Win pernah main tank, pernah main assassin, pernah main marksman. Tetapi tak lupa juga kepada tim Todak, diorang ada Fomes yang boleh menggantikan Chiku punya lane. Dan Chiku pula boleh bermain di lane Fomes. Dan di antara kedua-dua pasukan ni, diorang masih lagi menyimpan meta diorang untuk kepada Grand Final kali ini, Rafael.
Yeah, and kalau kita tengok in terms of experience, yes, tim Todak mereka dah banyak kali pergi kepada international stage. Tetapi untuk tim SMG, mereka ada Sasa dan James. Kedua-dua orang ni juga dah banyak kali pergi ke international stage. Jadi mereka know how to handle the pressure. Bila kita pergi kepada best of 7, saya yakin kita akan pergi all 7 games. Because kedua-dua tim pandai untuk adjust. Yang saya risau, pada musim lepas, tim Todak mereka lalu dari lower bracket. Lawan dengan tim RSG. Tetapi nampak yang mereka punya stamina tak cukup. Jadi pada hari ini, saya risau kalau game terlampau panjang, boleh ke tidak Todak tahan lawan dengan tim SMG, di mana tim SMG masih fresh.
Apa yang saya percaya kepada tim Todak adalah dengan perbaiki apa yang diorang pernah lalui. Manakala untuk pasukan tim SMG, memang diorang dah selesa, tetapi diorang juga dah nampak meta-meta yang dilakukan oleh pasukan Todak. Manakala Todak masih banyak lagi strategi yang diorang simpan. Saya percaya ini bukanlah game yang mudah untuk pasukan Todak ataupun pasukan SMG.
Jadi kat sini kita dah kena tanya, siapa yang akan menang? Siapa yang akan jadi juara? Arta, pada pendapat you, SMG ataupun Todak, siapa yang angkat piala?
Bagi saya, apa yang saya nampak dari sudut data MLBB, di mana analisis yang kita dah lalui, tim Todak mempunyai satu data melalui pemilihan hero yang banyak. Tetapi tak lupa juga kepada tim SMG dengan kemasukan Win, player terbaru SMG ini membuatkan yang pasukan Todak boleh baca ataupun tidak. Bagi saya memilih untuk pasukan SMG, iaitu juara baru di musim yang ke-8. Manakala, Lafel, saya nak tanya awak pula, di antara pasukan Todak ataupun pasukan SMG?
Awak tanya soalan yang susah, tapi sebab saya tak suka awak, saya rasa tim Todak yang akan menang.
Yes, kita berlawanan dekat sini. Disebabkan benda tu, kita akan lawan sebenarnya, Lafel, di sini.
Tapi ya, again, kalau kita nak cerita about logically, the analyst side, kenapa saya rasa tim Todak akan menang, again, dorang on stage, dorang boleh perform dengan sangat-sangat bagus, and I suka dorang punya innovation, dorang punya creativity. Walaupun team SMG kalahkan mereka pada 2-1, itu adalah best of 3. Dalam best of 7, yang di mana tim Todak mereka ada lagi banyak ruang untuk creativity, mereka boleh lakukan lagi banyak draft yang boleh mengejutkan team SMG. Cuma I paling risau dorang punya stamina. Itu saja. Kalau mereka boleh tahan ke 7-7 game tanpa mental dorang down, then they should be able to be champions. Dorang, I yakin kalau mana-mana team dekat MPL Malaysia, team Todak yang layak menjadi 2-time champion.
Back to back champion. Tetapi di Malaysia kita perlukan champion yang baru. Untuk saya mengatakan tim SMG adalah tim yang terbaik di Grand Final ini disebabkan prestasi diorang pada playoff kali ini. Diorang jarang menunjukkan kesilapan besar-besaran. Dan Tak lupa juga kepada tim Todak. Tim Todak dah langgar semua lower bracket punya tim dan tak mustahil untuk tim Todak menjuarai MPL musim yang ke-8 ini.
Alright, so kita tak lagi akan masuk ke dalam game kepada semua penonton di rumah dan semua penonton dekat stage. Sekarang kita akan tengok di stage players untuk team Todak dan juga team SMG. Mereka tengah lakukan ping test again just to make sure tak ada apa-apa kesilapan dengan mereka punya devices, making sure semua tip top optimal punya pace. Di mana again kepada semua penonton di rumah dan semua penonton yang hadir di sini di MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 playoffs, make sure you guys support kedua-dua team dekat atas stage, but of course especially support you guys punya favorite teams. Sebab inilah waktu mereka di mana mereka akan bermain the best game of their life untuk menjadi champion season kali ini.
Dan kita akan saksikan sebentar saja lagi di antara pasukan SMG menentang dengan pasukan Todak tidak lama lagi. Tetapi bila berbalik kepada game kita, game yang pertama yang akan dimainkan oleh kedua-dua pasukan terhebat kita di Grand Final ini, apa pandangan Lafel yang Lafel nampak terhadap pemilihan drafting?
Saya punya pendapat pada 3 pick yang pertama, I nak tengok apa hero dekat bahagian depan dorang. Because again, Pakito has always been a contested pick. Yums untuk tim Todak suka untuk mendapatkan Chow. Jadi I nak tengok sama ada tim SMG mereka akan ban hero-hero depan Todak because kat bahagian belakang Moon dan juga Ciku, dorang punya hero pool terlampau besar. Kita kena harapkan untuk kacau kat bahagian depan. Kalau Yums tak boleh nak dapat, because again kita ingat Yums pakai digi tak menjadi. Kalau dia dapat Chow agak bermasalah. Jadi saya rasa the best way untuk team SMG untuk draft lawan Todak adalah fokus kepada mereka punya frontliners.
Betul, dan pemilihan hero juga. Sekiranya kalau kita nampak kedua-dua pasukan ni bermain Selina yang sangat-sangat bagus. Kita ada Moon untuk side Todak, manakala Zaim Sempoi untuk pasukan SMG. Banyak performance yang menarik ditunjukkan oleh Selina di antara kedua-dua tim ni, dan agak-agak Lafel Selina akan menjadi priorities untuk di-ban ataupun sebaliknya.
Dekat sini, kalau coach untuk kedua-dua tim dengar, pada pendapat I, jangan ban apa-apa hero mage because I nak tengok the full potential Moon dengan Zain Sempoi. Jangan ban Selina, jangan ban Farsa, jangan ban Eve. Kemungkinan besar diorang akan ban lah. But kalau boleh, I nak tengok sekurang-kurangnya 1 game each. I nak tengok bila Moon pakai Selina, I nak tengok Zain Sempoi pakai Selina, kemudian pakai Farsa, Eve, Kagura, and Zain Sempoi juga ada bawa Kadita. Dekat sini I just nak tengok di mana dua-dua mid laners ni jangan ada apa-apa nerf. Bagi diorang main apa yang diorang nak main and tunjuk definitively dekat MPL Malaysia who is the real king of mage.
Itu apa yang awak mahukan. Tetapi di sini kita dah masuk kepada grand final kita. Banyak persoalan ataupun jawapan yang boleh dijawabkan oleh kedua-dua pasukan ini nanti. Tetapi tak mustahil lah. Kerana kita nak menjadi juara, kita perlu ada respect band dekat situ. Manakala, kalau kita highlightkan di antara Smooth dengan Formace pula.
Okay, kalau kita cerita pasal Smooth dengan Formace, perbezaan mereka sebenarnya agak besar di mana Smooth, dia suka pergi kepada bahagian depan, absorb seberapa banyak damage yang boleh. Manakala Formace, dia main lebih kepada assassin punya style. Jadi walaupun mereka berdua adalah EXP laners, Smooth macam tank, Formace dia macam assassin. Dia suka pergi kepada bahagian belakang, especially kita kena ingat di mana sebelum ni Formace suka menggunakan Hayabusa pada EXP lane, sekarang dah tak relevan sangat because of the revamp. Tetapi that is dia punya playstyle. So I rasa walaupun diorang akan duduk dekat dalam lane yang sama, I tak rasa diorang akan ada banyak interaction between each other.
Betul juga. Dan Smooth, kalau kita katakan serba sedikit pasal Smooth, improvement a lot sebenarnya daripada minggu lepas ke minggu kali ini ataupun musim yang terbaru kali ini. Dan di mana Smooth yang dulunya pernah digelar sebagai Lord, tetapi kali ini dia membuktikan yang dia memang layak untuk bermain di Grand Final ini. Tapi Belleric, masih ingat tak lagi Belleric pick kegemaran untuk pasukan Todak, dan ini antara senjata utama untuk pasukan Todak.
Honestly, pada game kali ni saya rasa Balearic akan kurang diprioritiskan, because kalau kita tengok macam mana team SMG mereka lawan, mereka tak selalu go all in ke depan. Kebiasaannya smooth masuk seorang, absorb berapa banyak damage yang boleh, kemudian baru the rest of team SMG akan masuk. Sebab tu kita selalu nampak Sasa HP kebiasaannya adalah penuh walaupun dia pakai hero frontline macam Alice. Jadi dekat dalam game kali ni, nak kata Balearic takkan dipilih langsung, I rasa tak. Tapi I rasa pada 3 game pertama sekurang-kurangnya Momo akan fokus kepada the damage dealers. Dia akan sama juga dengan Formis, akan pergi kepada bahagian belakang, cuba untuk eliminate Zain, Sempoi dan juga Sasa dulu, because bila dua-dua hero tu dah tak ada, then team SMG is kurang sikit lah. Unless Win menggunakan Link, dan diorang punya priority perlu ditukar kepada Win.
Tetapi bila bercerita pasal kekurangan, tak lupa juga kepada Ciku dan juga Sasa, di mana Sasa menunjukkan prestasi dia bermain marksman, bermain mage killer. Itu antara potensi yang kita nampak di pasukan SMG dengan kapten baru yang dibawa hype baru, di mana pasukan SMG melayakkan kepada grand final ini. Antara salah satu sebabnya raksasa. Tapi Ciku banyak sangat hero sebenarnya.
Ya, tapi macam mana pun, kepada semua orang yang tengah tengok, ada banyak persoalan, tapi semestinya semua dah tak sabar untuk tengok game ini sendiri. Kita boleh cakap macam-macam, tapi lebih baik kita pergi kepada short video, bagi hype kepada perlawanan ini. Jadi, mari kita tengok video yang telah disediakan untuk Grand Finals.
Finals MPL Malaysia. Ajim akan tinggal toxicity Ajim di rumah dan switch on serious mode untuk laporan ini. Walaupun Ajim tidak mampu menunggang basikal mahal. Sepanjang musim, Ajim bekerja keras untuk mendapat berita, cerita dan derita yang panas. Di sebalik tabir, di belakang topi keledar ini yang legendary, Ajim finally boleh buat face reveal. Tetapi sebelum itu, let's sembang tentang Grand Finals MPL Malaysia Season ke-8. Tim SMG menentang Toda. Bolehkah ikan-ikan berpedang membalas dendam dan mencapai juara MPL kedua mereka? Walaupun kedua-dua tim pun akan mewakili Malaysia di M3. Tetapi juara MPL hanya ada satu, seperti topi keledar Ajim ini yang akan giveaway. Jadi, tim manakah akan dinobat sebagai tim terbaik di Malaysia? Komen je dengan prediksi anda. Sekarang, momen special ini sudah sampai. Sebelum Ajim signing out akhir sekali, Ajim finally akan reveal. Mana boleh?
Setiap generasi mempunyai aktiviti sendiri. Aktiviti yang akan menarik sokongan dan keceriaan orang ramai. Menyatukan emosi dan harapan, walaupun hanya sebentar, kita semua anak Malaysia. Kini, dunia telah berubah. TV semakin nipis dan cerah. Raket sudah pun diganti oleh handphone.
Champion! There's all the Malaysian fans!
Betul. Dah start.
Stadium kini dipenuhi dengan peminat-peminat permainan digital. Tetapi, semangat untuk mencapai ke puncak tidak pernah berubah, termasuk sokongan dan sorakan kita. Sesiapa sahaja pun boleh menikmati Esports sebab ia boleh menyala api di hati kita dan mencari sesuatu yang boleh dibanggakan. Semoga pasukan terbaik menang dan teruskan perjalanan mereka to the top.
It's time to rise up, 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 up. Break the limit, break the lane, rise up, 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 up. Rule the kingdom, get it out and rise up, 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 up. Break the limit, break the lane, rise up, 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 up. Rule the kingdom, get it out and can't stop the world from watching. I bathe in my victory. Yeah, yeah. Ain't nobody stop me from slaying. The rise is history.
Team SMG. Team Toda.
It's time to rise up, 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 up. Set me free. Rise up,
Welcome everybody back to the MPL Malaysia Season 8. It is time for the grand finals, a long-awaited journey that everyone has been anticipating since day number 1. Welcome to the English broadcast. We've got a live audience here today, ready to go. The dancers, the players, it's Team SMG versus Toda in our first best of 7 live at an offline event. My God, I've never been this excited in such a long time. My name is Gideon Q, and today with my co-casters next to me, Icy Baby 12, as well as Sadafa. You can follow us at our social medias respectively. It is time we cast for the very last time here at the MPL MY playoffs.
Yo, I'm feeling so hyped up for this match coming in here, and who would have thought SMG making it through, finally breaking their curse, and now here standing on the main stage going up against the former veterans here. This is going to be a really, really nerve-wracking moment for all these guys.
It certainly is, but you can feel the excitement in the air. It is palpable. All the 8 weeks of regular season as well as the playoffs lead up to this. The 2 surviving teams, our M3 representatives, are going head-to-head to determine who is going to be the champions of MPL Malaysia Season 8.
It's time to have a look at our representatives for M3. Let's look at the player lineup, starting off with Team SMG.
Yep, starting off with SMG, they're going to be starting off with Smooth, Zyme, Sempoi, Win, Expedia, as well as Sasa. And these are the boys that made it happen. They took down one of the biggest boys in the park, and they made it look so easy. They're one of the first teams to kick down Toda. And guess what? Todak is back and they want revenge.
And it's not the only thing they're capable of doing. They've really come together as a team after, as mentioned earlier, breaking their 8th place curse. Looking over at the overall statistics, it is looking absolutely fine. All positive KDAs all across the board, but they came back for their revenge now. It's going to be Todak.
Yep, we have 4 Mays, Moon, Yums, Chiku guys, as well as Momo. Speaking of revenge is true, because on day 1 of the playoffs, it was SMG who were responsible for pushing Todak into the lower bracket, but they were not ready to just sit down and roll over. No, they have clawed their way up through the lower brackets to meet their nemesis once again to determine once and for all who are the top dogs in MPL.
I mean, these are Titans and name stays here at the MPL, both of which have been sticking around for a very long time. One having a lot more success than the other, but Team SMG, this could be their very first time winning a championship. Now, looking at the talent predictions so far, it's going to be quite the split. 4-5, 4 in favor of Todak and 5 in favor of Team SMG.
I'm not gonna lie, seeing these predictions, it was a very, very tough one to make here. Even though SMG wasn't in the upper bracket, but seeing how Todak clawed their way in the lower bracket finals, I gotta feel, man, like Todak, this is the lower bracket meta. I'm going out for it, but that's the thing, it's split between us, that's just me. But let's take a look at what the audience think. It seems to me majority of you guys also gonna be on me and Gideon's side, whereas we're gonna be supporting Todak apparently.
It feels good to be part of the majority, but more importantly, the Team SMG fans, this is not exactly something that, they're not unfamiliar with. Team SMG has been in this, overwhelming underdog story for a very long time.
Yep, and it's not going to matter to them at all when they meet Todak head-to-head in the land of Dawn. Todak, they've been fan favorites for a long time, and we have to remember they were the champions of MPL MY Season 6. That means that right now they are vying to be the first team to ever claim 2 champion titles in the MPL, whereas Team SMG, perhaps it's destiny that on Season 8 they break their 8th place curse. Will they be able to bring it all the way and become champions for the first time?
Oh my goodness, that is going to be so unexpected as well. Who knows? We might actually see a brand new one. But before that, to ensure the integrity of the game is going to be hit all smooth and sailing here, we have to thank Miss Melina Lai, the head of League Ops, for making sure that everything is going smoothly.
Any tech issues, any lagging, none of that will get past her eye. The players will be depending on her to make sure things will run smoothly if they ever come across an issue. We want to make sure that all these players are going to be ready to go, and more importantly, nothing to hinder them from performing at their 100 or their 200%. It's time to pull up our very first draft of this best of 7.
Oh my.
The excitement is in the air. Team SMG drafting on the blue side, Todak drafting on the red side. You guys can see the 4 bars next to their name. Our one and only best of 7 series, and I don't think we would want it any other way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Need I remind you, this is a best of 7 thus far. This is the second time it has ever happened in MPL MY history. And guess what? Todak being one of the only teams that has faced both of them.
Funny enough, that is extremely true. We're bringing up a lot of good facts here, but it's time to have a look of how this game is going to go. Momentum is going to be key here. Playoff buffs have been activated. Starting off, the first rotations of bans, Team SMG have started things off by banning out the Selena. Todak following up quickly with the Yishin Shin.
Interesting choice here. Team SMG going to be putting a lot of respect on the Selena pick. We already saw earlier that this is a hero that both teams prioritize very heavily. It is, of course, Zion Senpoi's signature pick, but Moon also plays a very mean Selena himself. Team SMG, despite having first pick, decide that they don't want to go for this, meaning that they're prioritizing something else. The Yisan Shinto, a little bit curious. Looks like there's a lot of respect for Sasa over there.
It's interesting enough, coming in towards the the Yi Shun-Sin ban coming from Todak. If you think about it, both SMG and Todak are one of the very few teams here in MPL MY that actually plays a Yi Shun-Sin and makes it look so good. And in terms of flexibility-wise, both teams, they played it as a jungle, they played it as gold lane, and it actually worked out in the drafts. So it's interesting enough to see how the Yi Shun-Sin has played a major factor here in the grand stage, considering that it has been nerfed multiple times and kind of ignored during the regular seasons as well.
I mean, it's one of the few gold laners that you wouldn't expect it after being so used to seeing it in the regular season as a dedicated jungler. One patch and things have shifted. Phoveus going to be the next ban for Team SMG, as Todak already replied with a Rafaela, making sure that they are cutting off the support system for the gold laners on Team SMG side. So far, the way that I see it, Team SMG is just making sure that Todak aren't going to get the meta picks, the Selena, the Phoveus, and now the Jawhead.
Well, I think the main heroes that we have to really pay attention to now that the ban phase is approaching its end with that Jawhead locked in for Team SMG is going to be the Paquito as well as the Cho. The Cho being a very heavily prioritized hero. It's a favorite of Expedia as well as played by multiple members of Todak. The fact that Team SMG have not banned either of these two out means that they are leaving the choice up to Todak. Do they want to ban one out or just leave things open for the draft?
Well, it seems like they faced each other before in the upper bracket finals. They have a better understanding of what each other wants to do. They weren't expecting the win factor in yesterday's games with the Hayabusa being brought to the table, but they are fully aware for the fact that they do play tank jungles. But as of yet, now, the theory-wise here, it has been proven thus far. Expedia's Rafaela is a force to be reckoned with. Do they want to prioritize it or do they want to get a Hayabusa? It seems like it is going to be the Hayabusa. So, this is win Hayabusa perhaps?
Yep, most likely going to be the win Hayabusa, but Todak instantly making sure they are showing maximum confidence here, locking in both Paquito as well as Cho. High win rates, almost breaking into the 60% for Cho, but we all know Paquito has been an absolute devastating force to be reckoned with.
This is a very intimidating opener coming out from Todak here. I did already mention earlier, Paquito and Cho, these are gonna be heavily prioritized heroes by both sides. Team SMG thinking that the Hayabusa gonna play a bigger role here, and they're gonna continue that, locking in the Matilda and also the Eve.
Yeah, these are going to be comfort picks coming from both these teams, but Team SMG going for the Eve and Matilda. Seems like they want to play the double mage composition, which might be a little bit integration coming from Orange Esports playstyle, but it worked in their favor in yesterday's game. So the Eve is something that SMG did kind of prioritize on, and Todak fell in the hands in this almost near identical draft from yesterday.
Yeah, this is the playoff meta that we were talking about. A lot of Eve, a lot of Paquito. Paquito obviously being, you know, big name stay. Cho has been devastating, but more importantly, Eve as well as the Farsa. You got to take away those counter picks, the Yuuzong, anything that basically cancels out their ultimates. Todak lock in the Lunox for themselves. Not entirely sure whether this is going to be a gold laner at any point of time, but fair enough that Moon has been feeling himself on it since their lower bracket finals.
Yeah, Moon has been performing incredibly well on this Lunox, and Todak not falling into the usual bait of instantly replying a Yve pick with something like a Yuuzong, or even countering with the Farsa. They're quite comfortable going with their more typical pickups. The Lunox not being a very obvious answer to Eve, but can scale up very heavily and act as a secondary carry. The second phase of bans coming out. Sasa's Bruno going to be the first ban from Todak, and Team SMG remove Ruby.
Yeah, definitely. And on top of it all, I'm not gonna lie, Todak has faced with the Eve multiple times. Back in previous seasons here, they used the Farsa. Now, they tried the Selena, didn't exactly work out, which a lot of teams kind of integrated it to deal with Eve, but eventually didn't exactly work out too well. You know, maybe some teams they've adapted with maybe a couple of Rafaela or Matilda, but so far for Todak, Lunox seems to fit the picture. You can flex it as much as you can, and it might actually pay off. However, coming to the bans, SMG taking off the Ruby, but the Xbox and Bruno coming from Todak means they are targeting Smooth as well as Sasa's hero pools.
Well, for all we know, Sasa might decide to play something like the Alice or maybe even the Esmeralda this matchup. And Natan, Ruby already being taken out. Todak decide to get rid of the X-Borg as a very quick reply. We finish the ban phase as we move on to the second pick phase so far. The fact that X-Borg is being banned, and as well as Natan, they're keeping a very close eye on Chiku as well as the gold laners, which I'm assuming this time is going to be the Esmeralda.
Well, Todak have been a team that always want to prioritize those side lanes. They don't tend to focus very hard on the mid lane. In fact, usually, Yumes, his job is to roam over to the side lanes and provide assistance to his cores to ensure that they have a better time and get that early game momentum. Now, the second phase of picks coming out, and Todak are going for the Esmeralda, which is an interesting choice here. That means that with both Lunox and Esmeralda, Todak gonna be playing for that late game, but that is something they specialize in, so it's gonna be up to this Paquito to make that space.
Yeah, this is gonna be Todak going for the usual strats here, you know, saving up the last one for Chiku to actually flex it up. However, SMG-wise, they've got to rethink the strategy. What are they gonna play on Sasa? Because currently, most of his usual heroes are pretty much taken out. Brody is something that both SMG and Todak can play, but that's the thing. It's move on Sasa now. What is he gonna play? Are we gonna expect maybe a potential Kimi? Maybe, considering that how Orange Esports was able to put a dent in Todak's defenses in the lower bracket finals. Seems like that's gonna be the case. Sasa revealing his first ever Kimi coming in from SMG, and guess what? 83% win rate. And this is a pretty surprising stats.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Kimi very often in the regular season, and in playoffs alone, Kimi has only been shown a couple of times. I'm more concerned because this is going to be an a Paquito versus Thamus matchup, and we know how deadly Formace can be once he gets his comfort heroes, the Benedetta as well as the Paquito. Smooth has his work cut out for him, but if he's unable to handle that pressure, they may call for a lane swap.
Well, the thing about Smooth is that he is very good at holding the lane. He may not necessarily win those 1v1s, but you can be certain that he's not going to lose them either. So perhaps that is what Team SMG is looking for. They know the Paquito is going to be aggressive anyway, so might as well just hold on to that lane. But Todak gonna finish things off, drafting the Lancelot, and ho-ho, look at this. This is a 4-maze Lancelot and a Paquito on Chiku.
I really like the lane swap coming in from Todak, and seems like they've got a pretty clear plan. However, they have to rush this as quickly as they can because SMG looking pretty solid, but they have to rely on Smooth being that frontline tank.
Yes, they do. I'm assuming Smooth is going to take vengeance, but we'll only find out as we get into this game for our very first match in the grand finals. Team SMG having a very standard lineup as they want to protect Sasa for as long as possible, allowing Zion Senpai to create space and a kill zone for the team. Todak, they are comfortable with this. Real wall manipulation, more like an extra shield for me as they look to play for the later stages of the game to shut down and close them out with a quick dive in the back line. Let us bring the house down in our very first game of the grand finals. Team SMG versus Todak.
We once again return to the land of dawn, but this time it will bear witness and host to one of the greatest battles of the season, the grand finals. Game 1, Team SMG on the blue side, Todak on the red side.
Definitely here, but look at this interesting on the minimap as well. We do see an invade coming from Yums, but apparently his SMG doesn't realize that this is happening. It seems like he is going to back off, considering that Vin may be going for a vertical jungling coming from SMG. Zion Senpai getting harassed pretty hard. Vin is forced to come in to provide a little bit of assistance, but look at this, Moon going for the harassment move, going for an early rotation. Can he get the dive on Moon? Expedia dropping, going for the wrap around, and Moon, he might be trapped up. Can he survive this? Nope, he will not. And that's going to be first blood in the hands of Expedia.
This is a great play coming in from Team SMG, but Expedia isn't done just yet, especially with Yums there to harass him. He doesn't secure the kill, but more importantly, they're playing on the strong side of the map. Oh, Expedia, he gets canceled out and is forced to walk away. That means that Todak will have some control over this top side of the map for a while the support is back at base, healing back up and trying to get back into the fight.
This is huge for Todak. However, here comes Sasa. He's going to scare them off. Ooh, do not mess around with the chemical concussion that the machine gun is going to bring to the table. Immediately, Todak felt a little bit of a glimpse coming in from Expedia, and they will back out instead.
That's actually going to be huge there. That was very lucky, because if Yumas wasn't there, Chiku would have definitely died to the Ogi Shadow kill, so he managed to take a lot of the damage away. Again, guys, First Blood Bounty, redeem the redemption code, scan this QR code right now. You're not going to have access to it much longer. After all, it's the final day of playoffs.
Yep, I mean, with the chemical reaction here, it's important that he holds it up for as long as possible and only use it when necessary or unless he's got energy. Here comes Momo already with falling star when he's driving now the real one manipulation. Win can seem to buy a little bit of time, but it's too late as they've already found Lancelot in the backline for Maze. Now having to take the shots coming in from Smooth as well as Sasa. Yums finally goes down. It's a trade 1-for-1 jungler for support, but unfortunately, Todak take the bigger win.
Perfect rotations coming in from SMG, having Sasa to fill in the blanks. However, Smooth getting caught up in between lanes. He might actually fall, but he's going to be fine for now. However, look at the top side. You know, great rotations from SMG, but Todak, it was a little bit late coming from Chiku, but he was able to force out a couple of names in the top side. But no, the challenge, no, what were you thinking, Smooth? Why are you still there? He's going to get caught out. Meanwhile, Win, he has to salvage this fight.
This is unfortunate indeed. I mean, especially since Momo has been playing it well. Expedia now attacking Yums, making sure he is mirroring his motions, making sure that Todak doesn't have their playmaker. A solo kill happening on bot side for Smooth isn't ideal, but at the very least, he's absorbing pressure for Sasa.
We're already seeing from these early oh, hold on for a moment. They're jumping on top of Sasa, but they're not able to find it. He is luckily able to dash away. Maximum charge comes out onto Yums, but Expedia won't be able to chase that down for the kill. Lots of action coming out from both these teams already.
Holy moly, Yums, what is that reaction? This is his first time here in the playoffs, and he's feeling this confident. That was kind of surprising. Meanwhile, Chico is going to get dived on up top, and SMG will get the takedown.
That was a really good fake coming in from Team SMG. They pull away thinking that they're not going to give any more pressure, allowing the Chiku to actually start pushing up. And now for Maze is in a little bit of trouble. He's already used the perfect execution to get on out of there, and even a maximum impact to really show the confidence, saying this side of the map is ours.
This is just flexing coming out from both sides right now. Team SMG have been the team so far with the better rotations. That's going to allow them to start off the game with a nice 1.5k net worth lead. But the Turtle is coming back up very, very soon. Win already in position to start contesting it. I think we can expect Formaze to start rotating over as well.
This is going to be huge for SMG. They've got the lane control. They know that Formaze is not ready. They are going to force the Turtle, but now the real munition comes in. They do catch off Yums, and that's going to be one of them down. And Lunox also going to be popping a Brilliance to back off. Moons needs to back out, and Formaze will concede the Turtle. Great defense coming in from SMG, and they will be able to punish this. And now greeting out potentially the purple buff, but Sasa making word this Minotaur here, chipping away very quickly. Toda in no position to contest this, and they will concede mid lane potentially.
This is unfortunate because you can already tell that Chiku wanted to kind of rotate down that bot side, but he was a little late on it, and unfortunately Yums already went down when the fight occurred. So that just means they had to kind of give up that pressure, but they didn't want to. They still wanted to try, even if it was a 4v5.
All things considered, I think Chiku did make the right decision there. His team is not going to be as strong as Team SMG in this early game, so he made the decision to trade out the top tower in exchange for the Turtle as well as mid. Obviously, it's not going to be good for Todak there, but it would be worse if they were to take a big fight and end up losing too many members at once.
Agreed. Meanwhile, Chiku, he might be actually caught up now. So like he's going to walk in the ramps. The circling Yu comes in, and Chiku tries to go to Flicker, and he will get the obliterated. Did not expect at all for this ambush. Toda trying to redeem this fight. The Weird Dragon comes in. Expedia going to be taking full brunt of the damage, but they do not want the risk. Win taking them out. Toda will respect this and back out.
There's a little bit of disconnect happening with the rest of the Todak members. It seems like they're playing 4-1. Chiku is doing his own thing, but the rest of the team is just responding around to his calls. Formaze is going to clear up mid side, and the same is Smooth. However, with top side breaking open for Team SMG with 27 more seconds for that Turtle, Yums is now in a little bit of trouble here as Expedia continuing to mirror him.
But in the meantime, Ogi's down on the moon as the maximum charge finds its target. Well played by Sasa. Team SMG putting the pressure onto their opponents right now. They are playing at 200%, rotating around the map and making use of their early game power spike.
taking a lesson off the page of Orange Esports, and they are doing it right now. Toda, they're struggling to defend against this Kimi aggression, and even Chiku is afraid to push out. So this is going to be an easy turtle hitting in the hands of Win.
This is some really uncomfortable stuff for Toda. Oh wait, Yums finding the initial cat onto Zyme Senpai, who drops the real world manipulation to buy sometimes, but it's a little too late. With the Oki Shadow kill, this should be pretty easy for Win to get on. Oh, wait a minute, a kill coming in. Smooth manages to take out Moon in the process. He still has the vengeance in case things get sour, but Sa is there to back them up. Maximum charge onto 4 Maze. They're too low. They cannot hold this to mid-tier 2.
Team SMG making full use of this Kimi right now. Sasa has basically not been in his lane for the entire game, and they are making it work. They're constantly rotating Expedia and Smooth around with this Kimi to secure kills because they know that she has a lot of inbuilt damage anyway.
Yup, Yums now going to go over stun. Wave Dragon has been expanded. XMG is happy about this, and they will take a tier 1 for free on the bottom side. Toda waiting for the right moment to strike. Chiku is going to be the front line for the side of Toda, as the rest of Toda are going to be coming from the sides. And the storm comes in, they make a dive, and who's it going to be? Brilliance is there, the real motivation will isolate the fight, and 4 Mates will be the first one to take it down. Next is going to be the Yums, but the power of Sasa just too great for Toda to handle. A double kill in the hands of SMG, and just like that, Toda, they get pushed back.
That was really well played. Win making sure that Yums is going to be secured. Moon not even able to get his darkening off in time. He started off aggressive with the brilliance, and Team SMG immediately punished us. No one is even remotely close to Sasa, and he hasn't even expanded his flicker just yet.
This has been some incredible next level gameplay from SMG so far. They've been playing really well throughout the playoffs, but it seems like they've attained a new level of evolution right now, playing together at levels of coordination I have personally never seen before, and Todak seem to be caught with their mouth agape as well. How do they respond to this aggression?
It's going to be a tough one here, but now with the next turtle coming up, SMG having a 5k lead. Toda, they've got to slow things down a little bit. They need to figure out how to get some sort of fun with Chiku, as he's been dying a little bit too much. SMG seems to be steamrolling their way through, with Win going to be taking in charge. Is this going to be the kill coming in? Smooth taking charge of the situation, looking good. Preemptively pops the vengeance on top of it. This is not good for him, but will Toda be able to actually utilize this?
Look, he's 7k ahead, losing out the vengeance. All right, yes, it is kind of a big deal, especially if it's a 1v5, but in smaller situations, 1v2, he can buy a little bit of extra time. It's not the worst thing in the world, but Toda already setting up the ambush, but they see it Smooth. It just isn't worth his time. They're just going to continue to hold their position until they find the flank on the Team SMG, as Team SMG now attacking Yums and shoving him out of the purple side jungle.
I'm loving how Team SMG is playing this right now. Momo showing respect over the Smooth, though he might be baiting for Chiku as well, who's hiding in the bush. I'm sure that Smooth is aware that he's there right now. Right now, Smooth is playing as a separate unit from the rest of his team, who is jumping in underneath the inhibitor tower with the real one manipulation already dropped. Moon and Yums dropping real low, but Yogi Shadow kill secures the kill onto the Joe.
Oh my goodness, what a clutch for Expedia with the gliding beam. He immediately skirts off. Toda could not capitalize it at all. And now SMG are going for the push, and Toda finally punishes Win for his overzealousness. But however, it's not over yet. They still have Sasa keeping up the pressure, but it seems like playing objectives is going to be the fallback plan coming from SMG, as written from their words in their palms with the markers.
It's all about discipline here. Team SMG is doing a good job at not being overly aggressive, and they're hurting Toda, and right especially at the joints, kicking them at their knees, breaking down their elbows, making sure that they're unable to move and breathe in this game. If Team SMG keeps this up, Todak is in a lot of trouble.
Well, Lord is going to be up in 15 seconds. Moom gonna run into Chiku here, so he's doing a good job of scouting out the pushes for his team, but Yums might have overextended himself. Circling Eagle jumps in, pushes him back, but he is a... Oh! Never mind! Monster kill for Sasa as he gets the snipe. They're jumping on top of Moon. Will be able to get him as well. Momo, 4Maze, and Chiku have to retreat, but Smooth jumping into the bush. Chiku with the double jab, we should be able to get out of there just fine.
Yep, it seems like SMG getting a very, very nice pickup. It seems like Toda might not be able to handle this. Momo going to be caught out a little bit more as Sasa looking for the maximum charge again. But Formace coming through the side. He goes for the snipe down, but he doesn't have the damage. Chiku will follow up with KO punch, but SMG a little bit too strong for this as Expedia will keep them healthy. Momo going to be redeeming the front for Toda. Yux gets a really nice wave of the dragon. He catches it. That is huge for Toda as they slow down the aggression, but little did they know, Sasa is still the bigger threat. Meanwhile, Toda trying to find a way for the angle. Expedia a little bit out and open. Smooth sneakily trying to rat on this tier 3s. Expedia being the point of focus from Toda is not going to be over yet as Sasa continues to harass Momo. Momo needs to back out preemptively and will use the falling star moon to back out, but Smooth will successfully engage in the tier 3.
That was really, really good. However, Toda can
oh my goodness!
Forces here, 3 members to defend, 2 members and their damage dealers to take away the Lord under Team SMG's noses. I thought it was a great trade, the fact that Team SMG was trying to break open the inhibitor. However, they weren't able to rotate quickly enough to the Lord to stop Toda, who will bounce back with this Lord power play.
This is classic Toda gameplay right now. This is a team that isn't afraid to trade objectives. They know they are behind Team SMG right now. So rather than challenging the fight and defending,
Zyme Senpai
for the Lord, but they catch up to Zyme Senpai behind. Yooms gonna get caught out in real-world manipulation. Jiku jumping in the backline, wave the dragon, finds move, but he is way too tanky as Sasa focuses down Jiku, but has to flicker away. Win gonna be keeping the rest of Todak away right now. Jiku dropping real low. They play able to chunk down most of the Lord. Smooth now zoning out the rest of Todak. Jiku has the recall. Momo gonna be buying his time as well as the rest of Todak. They're just recalling in the bush.
Oh my goodness, what a big sick play coming from Toda, taking advantage of the Lord's position, going for that flank. Surprise enough, they do not lose enough members as SMG concedes their fight. Afraid of the power play coming in from SMG, but Toda, beautiful execution, taking advantage of the Lord and power minions as well.
This buys them plenty of time to try to reach the 42k mark, allowing their cores to actually get all 4 of their core items here, and maybe even a situational one. Now Todak is standing together as a Deathball Conceal being used as well to get some position so far, but keep an eye on Smooth as he's looking for that backline, already starting off the attack as they pull away from the Little Wanderer.
Good retreat by Todak there, knowing that they are still behind. It's not going to be wise to take these 5v5 fights unless they know they can get a pick-off. That's going to be Yums' job. He gets poked out of the bush by Expedia, brings Win with him, but that is not the target that they want to go on right now.
Oh, big maximum charge as well, trying to scout a vicinity, open up the map a little bit. Toda will play it a little bit slow, but SMG, they're back to basics once again. They understand there's no point getting a little bit risky plays. They have the power spike advantage in the late game. Do not jeopardize this as of yet. The longer this game goes by, SMG will have the advantage. Calm, cool, and collected. That's going to be the new motto here for SMG.
That's ideal. As we look at the item list before this fight actually occurs, Formace has to push on out really, really quickly, but so far, based on what we are seeing, Momo is going for full tank. I'm not even sure if he's considering getting a Calamity Reaper, or I don't even think he needs it at this point of time. He has to depend a lot on Moon, who's so close to his Holy Crystal.
Yep, but is it going to be enough though? Todak, they do have the better late game scaling, but Team SMG are so far ahead right now that they should be able to comfortably take fights without too much problem. Obviously, they're still respecting their opponents. This is Todak after all. They have their eyes set on the prize, and if you make a mistake, they will fully capitalize on it, which is why Team SMG is playing a little more passively right now, going around the objective timing.
Yup, here comes the catch coming from Use. Expedia getting choked out a little bit, but Toda doesn't want to overcommit this stay as Win gonna harass his way through. Momo gonna be scouted out based on the real manipulation, but Chiku, he went in all alone. He might be a little bit stranded. Can he save his life? The Lunox Breeders is gonna be trying to isolate his way through, but Chiku, he survives. He's gonna be fine, but instead the rest of Toda, they find Zyme Senpai. They take him out, and SMG, there's left stranded a little bit more. Toda, they gave their all, but Smooth is still healthy. He's gonna give chase for 4 mains. Chiku will finish it off. Win, but now 4 mains will pay the price as a trade-off, as the trade of blows between both teams are just phenomenal, but still, Toda coming up on top, taking 3 in the bag.
This is an interesting game of tag here. Smooth, oh no, he's now in trouble as he got kicked by Yums. Moon is on his way to make the difference in terms of damage. He's got the Darkwing ready to pop off here. Expedia can pull Smooth back into safety. A 3-for-1 trade, not ideal for Team SMG, but perfect for Toda as Luminous Lord spawns.
That is honestly going to be a huge swing. That was Sasa's very very first death of the game, and now Smooth and Expedia have to try and challenge the rest of Todak as they take the Lord. But this is a 2v4 situation. Smooth right on top of it, jumping on top of Moon, taking quite a bit of damage from the Lord as well. Real manipulation has been dropped, and they do get the Lord. Yume's getting focused down from the back. Meanwhile, Tiku is able to kill the Matilda. They do find the Ludox in the backline as well. Smooth causing so much havoc right now. It's so difficult to kill. Maximum charge, not able to find the kill onto Chiku. Momo dealing with 3 people on his own, but that is an unstoppable streak for Smooth.
Oh my goodness, what an interesting decision. Todak capitalized in a situation that Vin was so far away, took a jab on the Lord, and this is going to be the second Lord in Todak's favor again. Beautiful stuff coming from Todak. They're dragging this long enough so that SMG will make more mistakes. And with this Lord empowered minions, hopefully they can clear up some of this outer towers that is protecting SMG's base to give them a little bit more room to work with. And hopefully that is going to be able to get some pickup, because right now in the bottom side, we do see Smooth going to be getting jeopardized here from 4 Maze, but the buff almost getting stolen away from Todak.
It's actually really important that 4 Mace is stealing away this orange buff in particular, because again, unless Sasa has that extra added damage, and more importantly the slow, he's not taking anything crazy like marksman emblems. He is going straight for the mystery shop to quickly get his items as fast as possible, and without that orange buff, he might not be able to independently peel off the members of Todak.
18 minutes into the game, and well, the tables have turned. Todak are known as a late game team for a reason, and they are now leading in terms of network, putting the pressure onto the Hayabusa as they jump on top of it with 4 Maze and Chiku. Win will back off to the safety of his team. Real world manipulation, not gonna find any targets. Yume's looking for a catch in the backline. Expedia using the circling eagle, but Todak will decide to retreat.
This is huge coming in from Todak as they buy a little bit more time and getting their items into the game here. Interesting enough, antique Kira's being purchased from Momo, as well as the glorious armor is going to be helping them in all this fight, just because of how the damage over time coming from SMG with the Eve as well as the Sasa's magic skills is going to be reducing each time it gets hit.
Yep, I mean, the Radiant Armor is such a powerful buy in these situations, but unfortunately, it's only going to go for so long as Todak. Eventually, it's going to come down to how much gold can you accumulate to switch out for Winter Truncheon as well as Immortality when the cooldowns are up. As long as they keep that in mind, Team SMG might actually have a way to play around the initial burst damage that Todak actually has. Moon, when he has Brilliance, can blow people up. When he has the Darkening, that's when Team SMG has a huge problem, and they can't seem to deal with it unless they can break open the Brilliance early.
Well, that's gonna be a problem that Team SMG needs to solve, because even if they do manage to break over into Brilliance early, Moon is not the only carry from Todak. 4 Maze is gonna start to fall off in terms of damage here, but Momo is gonna start getting really big as time goes on. Win finds Chiku in the bush. Unfortunately, his knockout strike does miss. Ogi Shadow Kill gonna be popped on top of Paquito's move. Gonna be jumping onto Moon in the backline with the help of Expedia. Chiku manages to escape from Team SMG. Real world manipulation being popped to allow Smooth to back off after his immortality was expended.
It's not bad overall. I mean, considering the number of his battle spells actually being used, Todak actually win out on that fight despite really getting low on these engagements.
Yep, slowly but surely, SMG is just losing out in terms of so much damage just because of itemizations coming from Todak. As a sooner or later, Smooth won't be able to stop everyone from side Todak, whereas Todak, they do have the HP to fight against SMG. However, ladies and gentlemen here, if you enjoy this grand finals here, you want to stay fresh with 5 times the freshness with every good game with Rexona, man. The Charcoal Detox and Lime Cool is keeping up all the players up and fresh and on the edge of their tables playing this grand finals.
8 more seconds until the next Lord is going to come up. We're already 20 minutes into this game and both teams refusing to back down. Yume's making sure he opens up the map and holds key points, making sure that Team SMG's movements are always tracked, and more importantly, they do not get flanked. They need to make sure that Moon is not going to blow his Brilliance way too early.
We're now seeing a very obvious flaw in Team SMG's lineup. If they're playing 4-1, that means that a large chunk of their forces has to be together at all times, which allows Todak's stronger individual members to constantly apply pressure across the map. Luminous Lord is now up, Win is eyeing it, but Todak are very nearby, and this could be a dangerous contest.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting one here. Todak, they're trying to bait out the Lords, but Yums might be a little bit overextended, but he is going to get poked up. It seems to me he's feeling pretty okay. He doesn't have a lot of HP, but looks at this. SMG, they force up multiple things, and they can't seem to finish him off. Meanwhile, Chiku on the minimap secretly waiting for the right moment, and he finds Sasa, and the Winter Trunker coming in from Sasa. He's going to keep him alive. It's going to be A-okay. Todak, they want to swarm up Sasa, but Win will be trying his best to peel away at the armors and HPs of Todak as they may go for a couple of plays. Chiku a little bit over aggressive, will be caught up, and he needs some help. Yums is going to be there. Finn looking to finish him, and he will get the kill. However, the Todak has been started. Can they get the steal? Who is it going to get it? But it seems like it is going to be 4 Mays, and Todak once again secures the Lord, and SMG will only get Chiku in the process.
Oh my goodness, Win was so close to stealing that away. Yums now in some trouble here, but they managed to actually take out 4 Mays, and unfortunately for Team SMG, they cannot get this killing blow onto Todak. They're getting very close. 3 members already down. They have to muscle their way in despite the Lord empowered minions and the Lord spawning in about 4 seconds.
This is very dangerous right now. Only 2 members of Todak alive, but the Lord has spawned. Moon gonna be focused down straight away. Even they're just in the backline. They don't care about the Lord. The crystal is exposed. Game 1 goes to Team SMG.
What a big clutch coming from Sasa to bait out Chiku with a Winter Trunkian swap at the last minute, forcing everyone from side Todak to be fighting in an unfavorable position. A valiant attempt, but still amazing, amazing game 1 to start things off here in the grand finals.
The new Team SMG, reformed, refreshed, and even better than ever. Cool, calm, and collected are there going to be their key words. Let's hear the communications between this team of Team SMG.
Boleh sound ni terus sebelum
saya bisa jalan kau.
sebelum apa tu.
Tengok left, tengok left.
Nampak dulu.
Nice.
Boleh.
Target. Boleh.
Lek, balik lek. Boleh.
Boleh tak?
Alamak, mati gua.
Enggak.
Jangan lagi. Bagi dia ambil.
Gas.
Dia. Oh, kemana? Target. Boleh, Wan?
Oh, ke bawah.
Nice! Boleh.
Gas.
Gas, jangan takut tau. Salah kick. Ngapain tu?
Santuy. Udaran tu.
Dia udah salah semua jauh. Ini udah salah.
Nah, ngapain?
Apa tu? Ada 1 minit.
Wih, nice boy.
Bagi tu.
Pakai tu ni boleh guys.
Mid. Satu tak ada fikir.
Hati-hati lek.
Mid boleh? Mid.
Dia dalam mid. Jaga mid.
Boleh, mid. Sakit siap.
Oh anjing.
Lancelot dari belakang, cok.
Oi.
Boleh lagi. Main. Jangan lari.
Dia berslot.
Boleh buka lah. Buka lah.
Lagi banyak ni. Lawan lagi bawah.
Tahu. Sabar. Orang. Nice!
Things seem to be going really well for Team SMG, and I take it back. Cool, calm, and collected might not be the words to describe after listening to their mic check. It looks like they're having plenty of fun, but this game is as hectic as ever. Nobody is backing down in these situations. Let's break it down, especially for this post-game analysis before we move into Game 2. What exactly went wrong for Todak in that fight?
You know, they solely, it comes down to the drops, right? When it comes to the late game potential, they are very, very lacking. Arguably, they have the items to deal with the damage output coming from Kimi, but they had to rely solely on mistakes being made by SMG to be able to capitalize on this. And multiple times, Chiku has been in the backlines trying to find opportunities. Yes, arguably, they are able to get it, but most of the times, they're losing out on these fights. And while they're able to win in trade-offs, they're actually playing catch-up most of the times.
In addition to that, Todak has a lineup that profits the most when their opponents are kind of split up. They want to be able to completely create chaos in the battlefield, split people up so that they can pick people one by one, which is why we saw Team SMG playing as 4 most of the game, other than Smooth, who, as we saw, was perfectly capable of handling himself. At the end, when Todak went for the all-in dive to try and get the kills, that Winter Trunkian played a big role. Chiku was suddenly caught out, not sure what he should do, while the rest of the team was just completely wailing on Todak.
I don't think Todak realized how much pushing power Team SMG actually had with Kimmy as well as the Hayabusa, on top of the fact that they also had Smooth on this Thamos. He popped his ult and he was like, no, we are clearing this wave, we are looking to end this game, and with the sheer power of Kimmy, it was more than enough to crush down the Crystal. However, I do want to highlight Expedia. He was disengaging a lot of the important team members like Zion Senpai and as well as Smooth from some dire situations, and you can tell by his assist, he is crushing it.
Yeah, he's done really, really well in this situation. Like Expedia, I'm not gonna lie, he has played out of his mind in that particular game. His heals was really, really on point, but he was always making sure that Win is gonna be his priority target to take care. Sasa is gonna be secondary, knowing that Sasa can kind of position himself in a very way. But still, you have to give credit towards Sasa. I'm not gonna lie. That unexpected flanks coming in from Todak, from the sides, kind of preventing him to actually, forcing Todak to be in a very awkward position just to dive Sasa is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of patience. And I mean, for Chiku, he understands that, yes, I am a Paquito. I'm only going to be buying. I'm already maxed out. If I go and farm in the jungle, there is literally no benefit. I don't plan on selling these items, and neither do I want to get a Winter Trunchet at any point in time.
Yeah, Team SMG just outplayed Todak there. I feel like their draft was already solid, but the game plan and the way they executed it was perfectly on form. We already highlighted many of the players, but let's see who is going to be the MVP of game number 1, powered up by KFC, and it's going to be Sasa on the Kimmy, a beautiful 6-1-9 match KDA.
Yep, with an average of 4.7 KDA in general, dealing 27% of the total team's damage. Sasa manages to always hold a very good position against Todak.
Yeah, what was really interesting that Sasa definitely caught them out by surprise by playing his Kimmy role, which we did see a lot coming from the day 1 and day 2 of the playoffs, where he has this tendency to kind of play passively a lot and suddenly going full on aggression, taking control of the momentum that was given from SMG to kind of snowball the way through, was something that definitely caught Todak off by surprise.
I also want to highlight the way that Sasa played on the Kimmy, was making very good use of her recent revamp, which really heavily buffed the damage on her first skill. A lot of Kimmy players that we've seen before play a little bit passively. They just want to win the lane, but Sasa, starting from the very beginning, was already rotating all around with Expedia, getting kills, and Smooth as well. Even though you would think Tamas, he just wants to hold the lane, he already ganked the mid lane at the very beginning.
Yeah, I think that was a very good opening. I wouldn't say opening pick, but more of an opener coming in. It's by default, you need to be playing on the stronger side of your map, but the way that they held their positions, also taking a more not so orthodox position by cutting through into enemy jungle before showing up into the river, it was very nicely done. The micro mechanics and also understanding the professional scene as pro players generally think in linear forms.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They've got to figure out what they need to do from Todak to actually bounce back, because as of yet, they were playing really, really good in the micro decision and macro, but the drops here feels like a little bit iffy. It feels like the Paquito was forced, but at the same time, they tried to adapt, but it was just super hard. I was really surprised that Chiku was being left to play a Paquito on the gold lane.
The thing about Todak's draft here is that it was a little bit overconfident. Their draft is a little bit disjointed. There's not a lot of combos happening. It relies very heavily on each player just winning out their lanes and getting their farm on their own, which normally works because Todak has very mechanically gifted players. Team SMG, though, identifying this, knows that their heroes are generally going to be alone, so they play together, bring the aggression to them directly from the beginning. Being that active from the beginning of the game is risky because you lose out on lane farm, but they made up the difference by securing kills.
The Conga line is already making its way towards the stage here. It's going to be Win Zion Senpai and as well as Expedia locking hand in hand. Just the natural synergy between these players is looking really, really good. And it's strange to see after a best of 5 where Todak was playing so cohesively as a well-oiled machine, especially between Yums as well as Moon, there was such a huge disconnect. And they were playing on smaller islands rather than moving together as a country. At this point of time, what should we start to expect for game number 2? I feel like Todak have kind of learned their lesson. We can't play individually. If they play defense throughout the game for the next 7 minutes, we basically have no lead.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but I feel like they have experimented a little bit too much, just because in the sense where I wouldn't say it is experimentation. It feels like Todak, they have a really rough idea of what they wanted Chiku to do, but based on the current situation in the drafts, having the Kimi pick up from Sasa definitely caught them by surprise, because the Kimi was something that they were super afraid during Orange Esports' final 2 game in the lower bracket finals, and SMG wanted to test out the theory. It looked good, and they were definitely caught off guard, because 3 games in a row, Todak is having this mental warfare where they are actually triggered by this Kimi. And now, for them to actually figure out how to deal with it, or do they want to ban it, it's going to be completely new waters for them, especially when they haven't exactly have a lot of experience playing with Kimi.
Honestly, this just sounds like a mixture of draft being an issue and as well as PTSD coming in from Todak's side. What about you, Sadaf? Let's look at the audience predictions real quick before we get to it. And yeah, once again, the international audience coming in from YouTube, helping Team SMG out here, and they're pushing towards that 50%.
That's actually a huge swing in SMG's favor from the YouTube audience. Looks like that game 1 really struck a chord in you guys, but still, Todak gonna be the fan favorites. Let's see if they can prove that they have what it takes. But responding to your earlier question, I think the problem lies a little bit deeper than that.
Really?
Todak, as a team, are always the aggressors. They have a game plan when they enter a game, and they want to be able to execute on it to gain momentum. Sure, they can come back from behind, but have a little bit of difficulty when the enemy team is very good at responding to their actions when they themselves aren't really able to vary from what they've planned from the beginning.
Are you saying that the most adaptable team in the MPL aren't being adaptable this game?
Adaptability and flexibility are different things.
That's a very good point here. Now, looking at the Game 1 recap here, you said that there was a draft issue, Terrence, coming in, especially when it comes down to the Kimi. Although, yes, Kimi is pretty good against the Esmeralda matchup, because what is Esmeralda really going to do in lane? I would think that, you know, Smooth would have been the point of contention for Todak.
Honestly, I think Todak is very, very inexperienced in this draft. And
really,
this is a very weird statement, because if you think about it, Todak, they have one of the biggest experience, correct? They played multiple events.
Okay.
But Kimi is a hero that kind of terrorized pubs as well as professional scenes during Season 3, which was before Todak came in.
Oh, that is...
So it makes a lot of sense that they don't exactly deal with it too much, and on the pro scene, not many teams actually bring Kimi to the table. And for SMG to bring it out now to show you that this is how it was done during Season 3.
I see. So this is how the tables turn here, because not only that, fun fact about Sasa, in his time during Onyx, when they were playing during MSC 2019, the hero that he won on was Kimi. So if we're talking about a top-tier Kimi player, Sasa usually is the go-to.
I personally feel like when I read the patch notes and saw how much they added damage to Kimi's first skill, I thought that Kimi would be a much more prevalent pick among these teams. To be honest, I'm surprised more teams don't play this hero, but perhaps part of it is because there needs to be a degree of execution and coordination between your teammates, because other than the damage, Kimi is a hero that's very easy to catch.
Oh, absolutely. She literally has only one dash, and it's not even in the right direction. It's backwards. It's really defensive, and you got to be careful, because the moment that's down, you're basically dead. But don't worry about Todak for now, Todak fans. Hazim has got their back. He's going to be analyzing and making sure that they are up to date with the meta as of yet, and more importantly, making sure that he can help adapt the draft better against Team SMG.
You know, it's funny, right? How Todak, they have to figure out a plan with this thing, and this is something that I don't think isn't that hard to deal with, but that's the thing about the Kimi draft, right? This is something that we kind of brought up to the table during the regular seasons. I think during when the first pre-match of the Marksman patch come in, I had this discussion with you, Gideon, about saying that, hey, Kimi is something that I really want to look forward to. It's really, really strong. It's been buffed multiple times. Teams just completely ignoring it. And I really did not expect it to come out at the last moments of MPL. And I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm scared too. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see how this draft is going to go. In that fact, let's bring it up. Game number 2, the draft has begun. I am very curious to know what Team SMG has written on their hands. The most I saw just now was position A. I think they are writing down their key things to remember for the game on their hand.
Honestly, don't look at me. I'm not going to be able to read it from here myself. We're just going to have to hope that the team themselves, they know it doesn't really matter whether or not we know. As the draft has begun, Todak gonna be banning out the Eve and the Rafaela yet again. Team SMG banning out the Selena as usual. So even on the red side, they don't want to deal with the hero.
You know, it's funny, right? Like, I did catch a little bit of glimpse of the words coming from Smooth's hand. The first letter I saw was objective. The rest of it was kind of blocked in. So I feel like they are going to be prioritizing on this a little bit more. But based on the comms just now, that we did kind of caught a glimpse of, was very, very quiet coming from Sasa, which is something I did not expect at all.
Really? I mean, basically the way that I see it is that, you know, Expedia and Zion Senpai are going to be the two loudest voices on the team. Based on what we've seen so far at the playoffs, Sasa kind of does his own and gives vital information when necessary, but he is hyper-focused on making sure that he is going to be playing at the best of his abilities because the team needs him to do so. Now, looking at the draft so far, it's going to be Yves and Rop being banned out for the side of Todak. Todak have one more ban in 5 more seconds. We're about to find out here. It is going to be the Kimmy as expected after Sasa's performance. Team SMG already banned out the Selena as well as the Hayabusa.
Looks like the Kimmy really was PTSD for Todak right here. They've decided, okay, we don't want to deal with that at all anymore. But that does mean that the Yi Sun Shin will get let through this time. We'll see if Sasa does decide to reprise his role on that hero. Team SMG now have the choice of their final ban in the first phase. What is a hero that they would want to get rid of? I'm thinking they might want to consider something like the Phoveus, but the Matilda is still an option.
You know, okay, before we go into the draft here, that's the thing about best of 7 grand finals, right? You can adapt on the fly, you can still experiment 1 or 2 games. But for me, this first game from SMG was pretty much the cheesiest strat ever. Todak, they've learned their lessons, they will adapt. Now, playing to something that they're comfortable with, I feel like Todak will bounce back, but it's just more whether or not can they predict what SMG is gonna do.
I think they have. I mean, with Hazim on their side, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. It's all about that execution coming in from Todak. But if they can't get the added advantage of the draft, it will be difficult. But let's not forget that Team SMG Coach James is going to be not going to be there live in person, but making sure he's watching these games and analyzing and giving vital information to Team SMG as these games continue to go by. So the longer it goes, we know for a fact James takes his sweet time analyzing and breaking it down to come up with drafts, starting it off with the Farsa, and is probably going to be looking for something else to back it up. Yup, there goes the Matilda.
Alright, Expedia's performance on the Matilda last game was really clean, and now we're gonna be seeing Zion Senpai on the Farsa as well. Paquito picked up by Todak. Usually this is a hero that you wouldn't so easily allow your opponents to grab, especially when you're playing against Todak, where they can go to the hands of the terrifying 4-maze. But in previous game, Team SMG have already showed that they can deal with it somewhat, so they're feeling a little bit confident about playing into this hero.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? When it comes to the Matilda, it feels like SMG is very comfortable, for sure. But Todak, they need to figure a way to stop these in tracks. And I feel like dealing with the Matilda with Kufra is something that has kind of been a thing during the regular seasons. But it's just surprising that Todak is not going for it at all.
Todak is actually going for the more aggressive route here. They're going to pick up Kagura as well as the Jawhead. We have not seen Jawhead in quite some time, especially between day 2 and also the beginning of day 3. A high priority ban during the regular season, now being shown up once again. Team SMG. It's going to be some easy harasses for Matilda, hands down, but Yums, out of all the rookies we've seen thus far come onto an offline stage, there's just no nerves in this guy.
True, I agree with that. The Jawhead pick will allow him to make a lot more space for his team. Looking forward to see how successful it will be, considering the last time we saw a Jawhead, I expressed a little bit of doubt, where it feels like the recent Jawheads we've seen haven't been able to do as much as the hero is known for in the past. We'll see if Todak will be the ones to pull it off, but Esmeralda is the final pick from Team SMG in this first phase.
Yeah, seeing the Esmeralda gives them a little bit more assurance in terms of shields. And for SMG, having those shields do benefit a lot, you know, considering that they are going to be relying on Smooth to be the tank frontline strategy now, which SMG has kind of adopted, relying on Smooth being the sole tanker. It feels like it might actually work, But Todak, can they deal with this Esmeralda later on? Can they deal with this Forza later on? We've seen teams adapt with Yujong. We've seen teams adapt with Cho. But so far, not going to be prioritized apparently.
Yeah, Cho not going to be prioritized in this particular situation because, again, we saw time and time again getting harassed in the mid lane and just rotating away, especially when you don't have somebody who can actually clear the lanes as efficiently as someone like Eve or even Farsa. It can be a problem. However, I will say that this is actually smart from Team SMG, making sure that they lock in both the Matilda as well as Esmeralda, because every time we see Matilda being picked up, Esmeralda is a quick response by Todak. So, very smartly done by them. No shields are going to be stolen this time round. Natan and as well as Claude going to be the bans for Team SMG. Todak ban out the Bruno, and at this point they might as well ban out the Yi Shen.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the choice they make here. Both teams respecting the enemy team's late game carry. The Chiku heroes, Natan as well as Claude, have been removed. Bruno being known for being played by Sasa. That means that both teams want to be able to solidify their late game a little bit more. They know that if they give some of these more comfortable heroes over to the enemy late game player, it's gonna be a bit of a problem for them, especially if they're not able to get that early game momentum.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, Yi Shun being banned off means that SMG, they have the option now, saying that do they want to set up a couple of traps here against Todak? Because if you think about it, Chiku does play a lot of Roger, so it seems like that's not going to be the case. Lancelot will be prioritized from SMG instead.
Darn it, I thought it was going to be a Ling. I was trying to predict the next upcoming ban, but unfortunately that was it was an assassin, just not the right assassin here. Team SMG going to be locking in the Lancelot, and I most probably think it's because he knows he's going to get invaded by Todak, especially on the Jawhead, to try and reset the buff at level 1.
That's true. That makes sense. The Lancelot would be a good counter to that, but it's gonna require a little bit of mechanical skill. Luckily, he will have Expedia with him, so that should soften the blow a little bit if Yumes does indeed make this aggressive play. Todak, the last few seconds taking down what are going to be their final 2 picks. They're still looking for a side laner as well as Chiku's hero, depending on where this Paquito goes, but they're gonna be blocking in the Brody again, and for the first time in ages, it's the Uranus.
Yeah, I really like this Uranus here, even though it's I would say Gideon's least favorite hero, I'm sorry to say. It's one of my favorites, you know, it's super fun, and I feel like having this Uranus gives you a little bit more window to work with and trying to bully SMG out of lane, but I'm only worried for one thing from SMG. Where is the damage gonna come from to deal with this Uranus? The Uranus, cut the creep waves, very easy. Only person he's gotta worry about, pretty much the Esmeralda. Other than that, all is well.
Well, I think personally...
Oh, wow!
I was not thinking of that as an answer here. Clint going to be the locking coming in from Sasa here at the playoffs. We've seen a Clint before previously coming in from Iblis during the regular season, but even that did not go the way that they wanted to. This could be a big risk for Team SMG, but more importantly, this is Sasa that we're talking about. He ain't gonna fail that easily. Personally, as you mentioned, I don't like the Uranus. I personally think that he stinks.
Well, we'll find out whether or not Sasa will succeed in flexing his hero pool. Todak now gonna be playing a pretty solid early game comp. He does have that jaw hit. They do have that Brody. Uranus gonna be a rare sight here, but if he's able to create that space, it should be absolutely fine. On the opposite side, Team SMG, they have a fair bit of early game damage themselves. The magic DPS coming from the Farsa and the Matilda going to be quite noticeable. This Clint, will it be the strange factor that allows Team SMG to score a 2-0 victory? Well, guess we'll find out.
We've got Todak on the blue side, Team SMG on the red side here in our second game of the grand finals. Team SMG already taking a game off. Todak looking for their vengeance.
I honestly want to see how SMG deals with this Clint. Like, we've talked about the marksman meta being a huge factor ever since the rework coming in. After the late season, the regular season, I don't know. Are they going to be able to pull it off? I'm not sure. But Zion Senpai is going to get caught out. Yumes goes for the ejector. They still have the damage. The Wings by Wings is a little bit on cooldown. And he will be A-okay with looking to retaliate. But seems like Todak, they will play it a little bit slow.
That's actually pretty smart here because, again, they were just keeping timings of the clear speed. Oh, wait, hold on. We might be in some trouble as he wants to Lethal Wanderer. He's going to get hit by literally every ability coming out from Todak as they target prioritize. Even though he did get the Lethal Wanderer, was it worth it, though?
Well, that's gonna be rough for Win there, but Team SMG not gonna fall too far behind Todak for now. Todak about to change that because Forme is going in to invade their jungle. We can see that Yoon's taking quite a bit of damage, but Chiku looks like he actually tried to dive. Oh wait, no, Smooth was the one that dived him. That's a risky play considering that Brody should out damage Esmeralda in the beginning, but he ended up coming out on top.
Oh my goodness. And as of that here, with that kills coming in, the first blood bounty is going to be up on available. Redeem this code before it's gone. And while you're at it, you can also check out the KFC Chizila by scanning up the QR code. Meanwhile, coming into this game, it's interesting enough that Chico has been making a lot of these very, very aggressive plays and getting punished for it. And Smooth finally understands that, hey, maybe that's his playstyle, let's go for it.
I don't know if that really is going to be his playstyle here. I feel like Smooth has really leveled himself up during this playoffs. And look at how aggressive Sasa is. He's going into the Ionic Edge. And although Mizaim Senpai dies in the mid lane, Expedia continues to help Momo out and even calling Win to help him with the dive. The Thorn Rose does not connect, but the dive is successful. They sacrifice Turtle to make sure Sasa is highly prioritized. Kagura and Jawhead on their way.
Yep, and speaking of sacrificing Turtle, they will be claimed by Formaze. Yum succeeds in defending the tower up top, but Formaze might be biting off a bit more than he can chew here. Diving into the purple buffs. Move is there to stop him, but this is the aggressive jungle Paquito gameplay that we've come to expect. Unstoppable force from Yums. Unfortunately, the flicker allows Zyme Senpai to escape the ejector.
Yeah, this is great coming from Toda apparently. They're taking full control of the advantage that this time, SMG, they are going to play a little bit passively as they are going to rely on Sasa getting a little bit more funds. But its double core strategy from SMG heavily depends on winning these early engagements. And that early pickup from Toda is transitioning really well now. Zyme Senpai is going to get caught out. Forme is taking the lead of the chart right now with this jungling build of a Paquito. And he's doing a lot of work, forcing SMG to kind of play super defensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Wait, hold on. Use the unstoppable force onto Zyme Senpai. Forme secures the kill as Expedia was not able to get there in time to give the guiding wins to his mid laner. They continue their rampage down towards the bottom side of that map, but it looks like they are going to go for a cheeky lane swap here. Clinton as well as Expedia making their way down to the bottom side of the map. Todak have adapted, keeping Yums very close to Chiku.
Well, I was wondering if Yums would show that Jawhead is still as good as he used to be, and that is exactly what he is doing. Taking some damage from Sasa here, but Formaze is zoning out the backline. Gets caught by the Circling Eagle right into the Phantom Execution. Formaze ends up sacrificing his life, and unfortunately, Todak don't get the tower.
Yep, underestimating the damage coming in from Win is just a little bit worried as well, but Chico is gonna remind him about a big catch coming from Moon, but the damage is gonna be so low, but they will trade 1-for-1, but SMG has the number. Chico gonna get caught out from the stuns, and that's gonna be Zyme Senpai catching him off as SMG will come up 2-for-1. Yums a little bit low, but SMG, they have to back out. Expedia and Sasa a little bit too low, but Zyme Senpai is here to harass, but he doesn't have the feather dash right.
He's waiting for it to come back up. He wants to kill Yums, but he knows that Formaze is nearby. Right now, this is a great time for Smooth. He's won his matchup against the Brody. Wait a minute, Yums is just going to die here, right? Because Win is... Oh, he went over the wall just before the animation of Thorn Rose is about to connect. Expedia now attacking Formaze. Gets pushed back in to the Feathered Airstrike. He's on the run with the extra movement speed of the champion. Stats Smooth managing to rotate and keep Momo in check. Well done to Team SMG.
Team SMG just walked in, saw that the turtle was nearly dead, and said, "Thanks, Formaze, we'll take that now." Almost gets the kill on him as well. They rotate down bottom, wants to give Sasa even more farm to see if they can get this tower, but the Phantom Execution gonna miss Moon. He pushes him back into the tower with Flames out, but he gets out of the way of the puncture! A beautiful outplay in the mid lane as Yums gets dimed down bottom, and they trade for the jaw hit.
That was huge coming in from Moon, going for the outplays, and that's SMG. They've got to be a little bit worried here. Win dying a little bit too much, but he's making some space. Sasa is going to be pushing down for the bottom side. However, on the top side, Momo consistently cutting the top side of creep waves, and Smooth unable to join most of these team fights. And SMG, they're fighting these fights without a frontliner.
Yeah, and I think that's a really big problem here because Yums has been struggling to get onto these priority targets. And Zyme Senpai, even though he's been punishing the... Wait, hold on. Formace is already getting attacked. He does cancel the Feather Airstrike, but he gives up his life to Team SMG, who's spread across the map here. Momo can only do so much because he really doesn't stand a chance against Smooth, but Zyme Senpai survives with a sliver of his HP after Yums initiates, and Moon uses the Yin-Yang overturn.
Team SMG making things happen there. 2K net worth in the lead right now. And if we look at Sasa, he has out-leveled Formace on the Clint. Team SMG is doing a very good job of protecting their gold laner and allowing him to get this valuable EXP and gold. 20 seconds until the next turtle. Team SMG already in position to take control.
Yep, seeing how the fight is going to be happening here as well. SMG get a couple jabs on towards Yum. Toda, they have to respect this and back off. Meanwhile, on the top side, looks like they want to take a jab on towards Smooth. As you can see, the push is coming in for Maze. Going to be trying his best to do something about this, but Smooth is going to buy a little bit more time. It seems like he's just too tanky and they can't trade this tier 1 as well. Meanwhile, the space has been created. SMG will secure the turtle.
And they've done a really good job at just playing on the opposite side of the map. Sacrifice what they need to sacrifice, but make sure that they have priority. Smooth has been playing a really good game so far, and Todak now taking the pressure. Feathered Airstrike on top of Moon so far, but they've already got switched their targets onto Yums. Secure the kill. Secure whatever you can. If you can guarantee it, we'll think about developing a lead another time. Momo now in some trouble, and Sasa getting some good on damage. Smooth ends up dying on the opposite side of the lane in the mid lane, but now they get a tier 2 at the same time. Team SMG playing like Todak in their lower bracket finals.
Yeah, this is so smart coming from SMG. Meanwhile, Todak immediately cutting out the middle turret waves right from get-go to try and get a little bit lane control from mid-side is pretty good. As also top side of jungle getting stolen from the side of Formace. He might actually get caught out for this punishment. His over-greediness coming from Todak immediately read from SMG.
Wait, Formace didn't even get the orange buff. Expedia has it. He lost his life for absolutely nothing. That's unfortunate right now. Team SMG rotating around the map like true champions, identifying weak points in Todak's rotation and taking full advantage of it. They have a 3K net worth lead now, and they're looking to balloon it even further.
I think the worst part about it all is the fact that they have the EXP lead as well. They use the Circling Eagle onto Yums, but they can see that Moon. Oh, now he's in trouble. Win just waiting for the Yin-Yang overturn. He still has his perfect execution if he wanted to use, but he now has to back away. Sasa and as well as Zyme Senpai just clearing out these waves like it is nothing. Momo gets in between to slow them down, but he gets stunned straight away as Yums is going to be the target and the apple of Win's eye. He takes way too many shots as Chiku, guys, does the damage. Win memories! Oh my goodness! They find it, the double kill onto Sasa, but a falling star mode to initiate an unwinnable situation for Todak.
Smooth! What a smooth kill there coming from Smooth as he goes in for the flank now. For Maze taking a little bit too much. A Feather Airstrike comes in, but Expedia, is he gonna go for it? But Yums is gonna be there to provide the assistance. Moon's gonna be stranded from the team from the side of Todak, but SMG, cool, calm, collected, play safe, objective is key. They back out, they are gonna focus on the Lord as of yet. Win doesn't have the buffs available, but Todak, they can't seem to contest this anytime soon.
Yeah, they can't walk up at all. It's 6K gold lead. Malefic Roar on Sasa as well. He will shred through Yums like butter. He's already 2 levels up in this situation. So even if he does use the Unstoppable Force, the channel time for the animation might just get Yums killed.
Team SMG so far have been playing so good, but an ejector onto Expedia. He might actually be able to get out. There's not enough damage. Feathered Airstrike will allow him to retreat with no problem. Smooth now jumping onto the Uranus. Momo actually dropping very quickly. Ejector gets him out to safety, but the pressure from Team SMG is palpable.
Momo's got to be scared about this here because the amount of damage being dished out from Smooth and Expedia was very lacking, but until Sasa joined the fight, he took a huge chunk out of it.
Yeah, Sasa is just gigantic right now, absolutely shredding Uranus right as they pull down with the Lord down on towards the inhibitor side, but their airstrike onto Chiku, really pushing him down to 50% of his HP for Maze, unable to go in. He doesn't want to risk death.
Team SMG just playing circles around Todak right now. Sasa on this Clint performing out of his mind. Look at his KDA. Error 404. Todak not found as they push into the base. Ejector does throw smooth into the backline, so that's going to be a mistake made by him. But look at all this damage coming out from Win. He's already taken out 2. Double kill going over to Sasa. Moon, one of the only survivors left. Momo has to retreat straight away. But will he make it? You're going to lose Moon. Momo is too slow. The crystal falls once again in favor of Team SMG.
Oh my goodness, the damage coming from SMG. Win and Sasa just completely destroying Toda in that game. But my goodness, Sasa's long-range trajectory, my god.
This draft was hard to play coming in from Todak, but Team SMG, I've never seen them execute this effectively against a team before. It looks like they are hyper prepared for Todak, and as they walk off, I'm pretty sure the comms aren't going to lie about how they feel, but they just look so confident.
I don't know what to say. This is a different evolution of Team SMG right now. The way they're playing is so efficient, so effective. The way they're roaming around the map. Todak has nothing on them. Let's see what was going on through the minds of the players in the mic check from Team SMG.
Man, datang man Datang man. Datang man. Joy flicker. Joy flicker tau. Hati-hati. Nice.
Kau apa?
Di atas kau weh.
Ya. Aku tak tahu nak.
Tolak atas. Tahu bawah tu pencet apa?
Aku kena record sok.
Brody belakang, Brody seorang. Brody kanan weh.
Aku ti Brody.
Hai.
Aku tengah aku.
Pasami.
Dia tikit jangan.
Now, retracting my previous statement of them being really having some fun and hectic, this was a calm, cool, and collected game. I think they were very confident in their draft, which I would like to talk a little bit more. But before we get into it, look at the scoreline. Team SMG 2-0 against Todak in the grand finals. Who would have thought it would look like this so soon?
Well, speaking of adaptation, can Todak bounce back from a very long best-of-5 series early on? It's going to be solely depending on their morale currently. But now, final push coming in for SMG. Is it going to be enough to spearhead and knock Todak out? That's going to be my question. It feels like both games, SMG is having just so much fun and also a pretty easy walk in the park.
Is Todak playing bad here, Sadafa, or is it the draft?
The thing is, it's hard to say because Team SMG are rotating around and getting the advantage so early on that we can't even say for sure that it's Todak's fault. They're just being completely outplayed right now. There have still been some very impressive mechanical showings from Todak, but they're playing from the back foot right now, and this can't feel good. What Terrence mentioned earlier, they did just play a full best-of-5 earlier against Orange, so that's gonna contribute a little bit to that fatigue, especially since they have memories of this exact thing happening, them losing in the grand finals.
Hopefully history doesn't repeat itself, especially for Todak fans out there. But looking at the item list so far, this just looks like sheer domination coming in from Team SMG. They had 8k worth of gold, but they almost have double the damage of Todak in this matchup. They have more towers, every single lord, 2 turtles, 6 orange buffs, and 6 purple buffs compared to 1 orange buff and 5 purple buffs from Todak.
You know, it's a little bit interesting to see how Todak actually adapted with the Brody pickup from Chiku. Look at his item messages. He's got the Blade of Despair. He's got Hunter Strike. It's pretty obvious that Todak wants to prolong this fight and try and rotate their way through between back and fro. But SMG, they don't want to take this kind of risks. They just want to one-shot you. Look at the glass cannon builds coming from SMG and also Sasa. We have Zyme Senpoi with the Lightning Drunken, which instantly bursts you down, alongside with the Berserker's Fury coming from Sasa, means that it's just double the burst, double the amount of damage. There's no time for rotation, just one shot one guy, end of story.
Sasa had such a good time this game on this Clint, and it makes me glad to actually see this hero perform well on a stage as large as this. A 606 KDA, he was out of control, and that was thanks to his team. Their early game rotations were on point. We saw Smooth actually dive the tower at the beginning, got the first kill on Chiku, and then rotated up to match the Uranus in lane, giving the lane to Sasa when Chiku was already behind. Let's see who the MVP of this game is, powered by KFC, and I never thought I would see this, but it is a Clint on the MVP screen, played by Sasa.
Sasa having a literal perfect game, 6-0 in 6-match KDA and a 4.8 average KDA. The malefic roars that were coming out of Team SMG, not only from Sasa's Clint, but also from Win's Lancelot, really making the difference at just really speeding up the game, destroying these towers like they didn't even exist to begin with.
You know, third item progression on a Malefic Roar is so rare these days, and SMG pulling this off definitely caught Todak by surprise. But bringing this Clint from Sasa two times in a row, bringing something unique from SMG, taking down Todak, gotta be a feels good moment right now, because we talked about cheese strategies. They've cheesed them once, worked. Cheesing them a second time with a different draft, my goodness.
I don't think they cheesed them this time. I think they made a hard read saying, I don't know what James has got or what he's doing exactly to get such a good read on Todak so far, but for some reason when Paquito was first picked from Todak, he just knew that he was keeping his eyes open, or at the very least the draft was being handled by Team SMG. They knew that this Paquito was going into the jungle, and they were keeping their eyes out for it. Locking in the Lancelot when they could have locked in something like a Granger easily to pair up with the Farsa, this was a deliberate drafting decision.
We also saw a very cheeky early gameplay from Siam Senpai. He knew they had the jaw hit. They would go in and invade the purple buff, so he pops the wings by wings, stands on top of a wall saying, hey, come kill me, doesn't die, and by the time it was over, the purple buff was already taken, and the health he lost didn't matter because he could just take the healing from the buff.
I don't know. It's micro mechanics, it's overall mechanics. It's looking so good for Team SMG. But before we get into the third game, let's throw it backstage with Fira Fendi. Fira, please take it away.
Hai guys, terima kasih kepada caster dan juga analisis kita sebentar saja tadi. Dan hai, saya Fira Fendi. Anda masih lagi bersama saya untuk segmen Draw a Wish. Tapi sekarang ni agak berlainan kerana saya bukan berada di backstage, tapi saya berada di tengah-tengah penonton kita yang bertuah untuk hadir ke acara MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 playoff kita kali ini. Jadi lepas ini saya akan memilih 3 orang pemenang bertuah untuk Draw a Wish, tapi bukan saya yang pilih kerana daripada para penonton kita sendiri yang akan mengundi siapakah pemenang kita. Dan sekarang saya menjemput penonton kita yang pertama untuk bersama saya. Temanlah. Hello. Hello. Hai, nama siapa?
Saya Fitri.
Saya Fitri. Okey, saya Fitri. Nak tanyalah, you datang sini daripada menang tiket giveaway kan?
Betul.
Apa perasaan you lepas dapat tahu you adalah pemenang tu?
Apa perasaan saya memang rasa bertuah sangatlah. Sebab kita tahu musim ni memang limited sangat kan, tak dapat penonton ramai. Jadi saya rasa bertuah sangat-sangat and gembira. Lagi-lagi dengan walaupun limited tapi kita rasa meriah sangat kat sini.
Yes, betul tu. Walaupun limited tapi kehangatan di sini masih lagi terasa. Nak tanya, kita sekarang tengah tengok SMG lawan Todak. You sokong siapa?
Saya sokong Todak sebenarnya.
You sokong Todak sebab tu pakai baju merah?
Betul.
Okey. So, Alalang you dah berada dekat sini kan Fitri? Fira nak minta Fitri untuk pilih satu nombor untuk pemenang kita yang pertama. Boleh?
Boleh.
Okey. So, Fitri kacau-kacau. Nak ambil yang bawah pun boleh. Lepas tu, bagi tahu berapa nombor tu.
Okey, jadi nombor yang bertuah ialah 5716.
5716 adalah pemenang Draw Wish kita yang pertama. So, itu pemenang kita. Nak tengok lukisan apa yang dibuat. Fitri pandai melukis tak?
Pandai sikit-sikit lukis.
Pandai sikit-sikit. Pernah masuk kontes ni?
Tak pernah lagi.
Tak pernah lagi. Okey, sekarang apa kata kita lihat apa yang pemenang kita. Okey, dia lukis Hero Chang'e.
Oh, Chang'e.
Dia lukis Hero Chang'e. Tapi ni lukisan dia lah. Sekarang kita nak tengok apa hajat dia. Macam biasa, diorang akan beri komen apa yang diorang nak, hadiah daripada Muntun. So, komen dia adalah dia nak epic skin Chang'e.
Epic skin
Epic.
Chang'e.
Tapi macam rugi lah, dia minta satu je.
Tak cukup lah kan, saya nak satu je.
Kan dah, nampak Fitri pun cakap kalau masuk kontes janganlah minta satu. Sebab mana tahu Muntun boleh beri lebih banyak lagi. Tapi disebabkan Muntun tengah baik hati sekarang ni, diorang sangat-sangat menghargai penonton MPL kita kali ini. Jadi Muntun akan menghadiahkan ke semua epic dan juga legendary skin Chang'e kepada pemenang pertama kita, iaitu Oreki 735. Okey, itu adalah pemenang kita yang pertama. Sebelum tu Fira nak cakap terima kasih Fitri kerana sudi bersama, and nanti kita jumpa lagi, okey? Okey, so inilah masanya untuk kita umumkan pemenang yang kedua. Segmen kali ini Fira akan pilih 3 orang pemenang, dan sekarang nak jemput penonton kita yang kedua. Okey, hello. Hai. Nama siapa?
Frost.
Frost. Okey Frost, you datang kat sini tadi daripada pukul berapa?
Apa dia?
You datang dekat sini daripada pukul berapa?
2.
Daripada pukul 2?
2 petang.
2 petang?
Yeah.
Walaupun grand final kita start dalam pukul 5 lebih. You memang excited gila lah.
Memang.
Okey, I tak perlu tanya you datang sini untuk sokong siapa. Sebab korang tengok dekat kepala dia dah terang-terang tulis Todak. Okey, you sebagai peminat hardcore Todak kan, you rasa berapa skor hari ni?
Kemungkinan tinggi 4-2.
Oh, 4-2? Okey, so kalau lah kali ni Todak pergi ke M3 sebagai champion, bukannya sebagai naik johan tapi sebagai champion, apa yang you nak buat? Adakah you akan pergi ke M3 juga ataupun sokong je daripada sini?
Saya rasa saya nari.
You menari? Okey, kalau menari bermakna you ada TikTok boleh? You
Boleh.
akan ada TikTok, boleh tak you tunjukkan sikit skill menari you?
Terus sangat.
Malu? Okey, tak apa, kalau malu kita simpan kejap lagi.
Okey.
Sebab sekarang kita nak tengok siapakah pemenang kita nombor 2. Boleh you undi satu nombor? Okey, so sekarang ni sama juga macam tadi, you kacau-kacau, pilih satu nombor.
Saya pilih yang paling
pilih-pilih yang paling dalam. Okey. Berapa nombor dia?
9664.
9664 adalah pemenang kita nombor 2 yang bertuah. Tapi sekarang ni kita nak tengok apa lukisan yang dia buat dan juga hajat yang dia nak menang. Okey. Okey, mungkin penonton yang dekat rumah dah nampak dekat TV. Okey, you rasa ni siapa?
Saya tak tahu.
Tak tahu. Saya rasa macam saya kenal orang tu. Sebab gambar ni pernah ada dekat Instagram saya. So terima kasih dan tahniah kepada MLBB nama dia kerana berjaya untuk mendapat draw wish kita kali ini. Tapi sekarang kita nak baca apa hajat dia. Hajat dia agak panjang. Okey. Sorry. Terkeluar. Terkeluar pula, hilang. Sebab panjang sangat. So kita kena baca balik apa yang dia nak. Okay, kita tengok dekat TV pun boleh lah. Dia cakap dia berhasrat untuk dapatkan iPhone 13 Pro Max sebab iPhone smooth sangat untuk main MobileLegend. Phone saya kentang sangat. Saya teringin nak pakai hero mekanik macam Assassin, tapi kentang sangat tak dapat iPhone. Gaming smartphone pun jadilah. Nak 50,000 diamond sekali. Okey. Macam kita tahu, mentang-mentang iPhone baru keluar dia terus mungkin nak minta iPhone. Okey, itu permintaan dia. Sekarang ni kita nak tengok apa pula yang sebenarnya pemenang kita dapat. Okey, dan tahniah kepada pemenang kita kerana Muntun telah menghadiahkan Black Shark Phone dan juga 50,000 diamond dan juga signature daripada Fira. Sebab sebenarnya gambar yang dilukis tu gambar Fira. Gambar, tapi bukan saya yang pilih lah. Awak yang pilih tadi. Kalau saya pilih tu kata kroni. Kalau saya yang pilih tadi orang cakap kroni, mentang-mentang gambar dia. Tapi nanti baik awak yang pilih. Tapi apa pun Frost, nak cakap thank you and terima kasih kerana sudi bersama kita and teruskan menyokong Todak. Okay? Thank you Frost. Okay, so itu pemenang nombor 2. Sekarang ni tinggal lagi satu saja pemenang untuk draw wish kita. Tapi kali ni kita bukan pilih lelaki kerana kita ada penonton perempuan di sini, wanita bersama saya. Okey, boleh datang ke sini? Hello, hai. Nama awak siapa?
Nama saya Cikgu Atika.
Cikgu Atika?
Ya.
Memang betul-betul cikgu? Memang betul-betul cikgu?
Betul.
Wah, guys, nampak tak? Ini pertama kali sebenarnya saya interview cikgu dekat MPL.
Betul.
Okey cikgu, sebenarnya dah berapa saya panggil cikgu boleh? Boleh. Sebenarnya dah berapa lama you sokong MPL ni?
Sejak lagi season 2, 2017.
Sampai sekarang season 8?
Ya.
Okey, jadi ini bermakna nampak tak? Bukan murid-murid je tapi seorang cikgu juga berminat untuk menonton dan menyokong MPL. You sokong SMG ke Todak?
Saya sokong Todak.
Todak. Okey, dan sekarang sebab kita dah tahu latar belakang awak sebagainya, apa kata sekarang cikgu pilih satu nombor untuk pemenang kita, boleh?
Boleh.
Okey. Pilih satu nombor. Kacau-kacau. Berapa nombor yang bertuah tu?
4317.
4317 adalah pemenang bertuah kita. Sekarang kita nak tengok lukisan dia dan juga apa yang dikomen. Okey. Cikgu rasa berdasarkan gambar ni, apa yang dilukis?
Dia lukis Malaysia.
Dia ada lukis gambar bendera Malaysia. Dan juga hero Angela. Okey.
Hero favourite saya.
Hero favourite awak main hero support? Samalah, saya pun suka main Angela. So tahniah
yang main hero support kan?
Betul. Tapi ada juga perempuan main assassin.
Betul.
Ada. Tahniah kepada Ariel 8054 kerana berjaya menjadi pemenang kita yang ketiga. Dan sekarang kita nak tengok apakah hajat pemenang kita. Okey, dia cakap dia nak ada Angela dan dia berharap Muntun memkurniakan hasrat dia untuk mempunyai kesemua skin hero Angela, dan dia juga memerlukan smartphone yang baru dan sedikit diamond. Dia tak cakap berapa diamond, dia just cakap some diamond. Jadi apa kata sekarang kita lihat berapa sebenarnya yang didapat. Okey, hadiah yang pemenang kita dapat adalah kesemua skin Angela iaitu epic dan legendary dan juga 20,000 diamond. Cikgu banyak tak 20,000 diamond?
Banyak. Boleh banyak skin lah.
Banyak
kalau budak-budak
skin.
suka beli skin.
Okey, selain daripada hero Angela, cikgu suka hero apa?
Semua hero support.
Semua hero support sebab support kebanyakan kan comel kan? Okey.
Fira, boleh tak nak minta satu permintaan?
Okey, apa dia?
Saya nak buat ucapan kepada pemain Todak.
Boleh.
Okey, kepada pemain Todak, harap dapat comeback stronger dan saya ingin melihat pemain Todak menjulang Piala MPL season 8.
Wah, cikgu memang sporting lah. Tapi apa pun, terima kasih cikgu kerana sudi bersama kita. Okey, nanti tengok Todak sampai habis tau.
Okey.
Terima kasih cikgu. Okey, so guys, kita dah pun umumkan ketiga-tiga orang pemenang kita untuk kali ini. Tapi jangan ke mana-mana kerana kita masih lagi ada benda special nak share dengan korang. Korang tahu tak? Sekarang KFC dah datangkan balik Zinger Double Down. Tapi bukan itu sahaja kerana Cheezilla Double Down juga kembali. Okey, siapa peminat daging dan juga cheese, diharapkan korang janganlah terlepas peluang untuk mencuba menu ini kerana dia banyak sangat daging dan juga siap ada roti keju berserta mozzarella. Tetapi apa benda yang korang patut tahu adalah ini hanya terdapat di semenanjung Malaysia sahaja. Jadi itu adalah benda yang Fira nak kongsi dengan korang tentang KFC. Tak habis lagi sebab sekarang kita nak umumkan pula siapakah 10 orang pemenang yang berjaya mendapatkan RM50 voucher daripada KFC. Okey, tadi awal-awal hari Fira ada bagi 2 soalan. Sekarang ni kita nak baca jawapan dia. Okey, tahniah kepada Azam Farhan dan jawapan dia adalah Moonlight Longbo Mia dan menu kegemaran saya ialah Zinger Double Down Box Meal sebab hidangannya cukup lengkap dan mengenyangkan perut yang lapar sehingga menjilat jari. Harga yang ditawarkan oleh pihak KFC juga berpatutan dan mesra rakyat. Siap cakap mesra rakyat tau, bagus. Dan hashtag KFCX MLBB serta hashtag fingerclickinggg. Ini pemenang pertama. Apa kata sekarang kita lihat pula pemenang kedua. Tetapi perhatian kepada semua, okey, kita hanya akan umumkan 2 orang pemenang dan selebihnya 8 orang korang kena cek apa yang terkeluar dekat bahagian bawah merah itu ataupun make sure untuk korang chat social media kerana pihak KFC sendiri akan menghubungi anda. Okey, ala-ala tu kita nak cakap tentang pemenang kedua iaitu Khalil Arnuang. Jawapan dia adalah Mia yang cantik. Fira pun dah macam Mia hari ni. Alah, terima kasih Khalil. Okey, dan jawapan dia yang kedua adalah menu favourite saya ialah coleslaw sebab rasa dia sangat sedap, manis dan masin yang balance dan diperbuat daripada sayur membuatkan menu ini sihat dan bagus. Saya selalu cicah dengan ayam dan juga fries boleh pergi jauh. Hashtag finger clicking GG dan juga hashtag KFC X MLBB. Dan kalau anda masih lagi tertanya, ya agak kita menang ke? Kita dapat ke RM50 tu? Make sure korang kena check DM, okey? Sebab pihak KFC ataupun MPL akan menghubungi anda secara lanjut. Okey, sekarang seperti anda lihat sekarang di skrin, kita ada Red Zona. Jadi guys, jangan lepaskan peluang untuk purchase Red Zona serta mendapatkan 5 kali kesegaran dengan setiap good game. Macam yang korang tahu, sekarang ni Red Zona tengah ada yang baru. Nampak tak? Kalau korang keliru lagi apa benda, korang boleh cek di social media MPL dan juga Red Zona Malaysia. Tetapi bukan itu saja, kita juga ada Nescafe. Korang tahu tak, sekarang ni Nescafe korang boleh beli dekat Shopee. Tetapi make sure korang scan QR code tersebut dan menggunakan kod promo iaitu NESMPL untuk mendapatkan 30% diskaun. Okey, benda ni sangat-sangat special. Nama pun kod promo dia NESMPL. Ini bermakna hanya available untuk MPL. Kalau lah tiba-tiba korang nak buat next year, dah tak boleh. Tapi apa pun, kita dah tengok siapakah pemenang. Dah tengok siapa kita punya perlawanan seterusnya, iaitu di antara Todak menentang SMG. Jadi kita akan mulakan perlawanan seterusnya. And Caster, take it away.
Thanks, Vera. Fendi, oh my goodness, it's so good that we're here at the offline venue, allowing a lot of the fans to really share their hearts. But welcome back, everybody. The score is 1-1 here at the MPL MY Season 8, powered by Muntun, powered up with KFC, official freshness partner by Rexonaman, official digital telco Yudu. Not to forget, celebrating moments with Nescafe, venue partner, Tropicana Convention, partners in esports, TikTok, WeTV, Secret Lab, as well as esports charts. Boys, let's talk shop a little bit here. The score, oh man, I would wish that it was 1-1, but it's 2-0. Let's look at the player cams to see how they're feeling, especially for Todak's side.
That's the thing, right? We had this little bit of intermission break for both of these teams here. For them to actually figure out the next game plan is going to be extremely important. But as we're saying here, let's take a look at the audience prediction thus far. It seems like SMG leading the 2-0 finally pushes back on the YouTube platform as they are going to be the team expected to win, apparently, maybe.
I mean, honestly, on the other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and as well as the locals using the QR code, overwhelming support for Todak, and of course, but our international audience, and shout out to everybody watching the English broadcast who are in Malaysia and outside Malaysia. Your support here for Team SMG has been heard. They're playing really, really well right now, but look at the calm, confident look in their faces.
Yep, let's have a look at the recap from Game 2. All things considered, in terms of drafting, I don't think anything was lacking from the side of Todak. Perhaps Gideon would say the Uranus didn't really contribute too much, and honestly, I do have to agree. Sure, he held the lane, but Team SMG weren't really playing the lanes in the first place, so Momo ended up in this awkward spot where he couldn't really contribute anything to the rest of the team. In comparison, Smooth were constantly zoning out the back line and just proved to be such a problem for Todak to deal with.
Well, personally, I would beg to differ. I think the draft does have some holes in it, even though it does, yes, look solid, but in terms of counter matchups, I think Team SMG has, as what an ideal situation is, 60% of an advantage in this matchup. Because think of it this way, they somehow predicted that Formace was going to be on this Paquito. I still am not sure how they did that. Is going to be in the jungle. They chose the Lancelot instead of a traditional, in most cases, Team SMG previously in the regular season would go for the Granger to pair up with the Farsa. So I mean, Uranus, he just loses out to Esmeralda.
Yeah, I guess if you put it that way, it makes a lot of sense. But now, that's the thing about Toda, right? The trend here that SMG is testing from Toda is ever since the lower bracket finals, the final few games for Todak was literally the role swap coming between Formace as well as Chiku, which is very weird because we haven't seen Formace play in the jungle since what, like the earlier days of the regular season, and now he's back in the jungle role, definitely catching him by surprise. But it seems like SMG, they think for the fact that maybe Toda is riding on the fact that that was their win condition during the lower bracket finals. They might assume that Formaze is going to be in the jungle again.
I mean, I assume, but you know, Todak may have PTSD over this Kimmy overall, but they are now feeling the wrath of these supports. They get rid of both Matilda as well as the Rafaela. And I think what you're referring to, Terrence, is the fact that Formaze was playing a lot more often during Season 6 and during Season 7. And this season, I mean, it's been a lot of Ajik as well as Chiku.
Yep, true. It's pretty strange to see Formaze suddenly playing regularly in the jungle, but I guess Todak are just realizing that he does do pretty well in there, and we've known for a long time that Chiku has expressed the desire to play in the gold lane instead of the jungle, so I guess they're just trying things out here. However, since they are 2 games down, I wouldn't be surprised if they now once again went back to basics, because that is what allowed them to secure their victories leading up until this point.
Is it really back to basics though? Because this is like super weird for me in the sense where usually you kind of expect Chiku to play the jungle. This is completely a new revolutionized version of Todak.
Well, revolutionize is one way of putting it. I do feel that Todak is back to basics was day 2 for them, but coming into towards day 3, it wasn't basics at all. They were playing at a very high level up against Orange Esports, and now against Team SMG. It looks like Team SMG has learned a lot from that matchup.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying they should go back to basics now. I hope they do anyway, because so far this hasn't really been working out for them with putting Formaze in the jungle. However, since Team SMG now will be getting the Paquito, the chances of Formaze going to the jungle have reduced somewhat. Not to 0%, but we will see what happens as Todak locks in their first 2 picks. They're gonna get the Eve as well as the Cho for use.
Yep, and as of yet, Todak going to be responding with the Eve, the Cho and Eve, just because of the fact that SMG does play these 2 heroes really well. But that's the thing. Losing a Paquito, it's fine. Todak has dealt with this situation before. They occasionally do bring up the Benedetta, which is going to be something to talk about. But based on the drafts of targeting towards Expedia's hero pools, guess what? They let off the links in the hands of SMG.
Not to mention Zyme Senpai on that Farsa as well. So it's going to be back into the playoff meta as we've seen before. Farsa and Eve, Todak, Chiku, I'm assuming he's going to be playing the Roger this time around. He's going back into the jungle. Formaze will have to bite the bullet here. I think Team SMG might look to start punishing Formaze by getting rid of his usual favorites. The Rubies, for an example, will be a pretty good ban.
Yeah, if we're really focusing down on Formaze, you also have to think about the Benedetta, but his pool is pretty large in the first place, so I'm not sure if banning out Formaze is a good idea. We'll see if that is what Team SMG decides to do. However, Todak wouldn't be surprised if they decided to ban more supports here instead. Yes, they're not gonna allow the Kimmy through their sights yet again. It just proves to be too much of a problem. However, having to waste the ban on Sasa's hero here is a bit unfortunate, because he's shown that his hero pool isn't really gonna be affected too much.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And seeing how Todak is kind of affected by all this PTSD that SMG is jabbing over ago with all these cheaty strats, pretty much open up so many more new possibilities for SMG to abuse. I hope Todak has a real answer to this, because as of now, Ling is something that Chiku is very comfortable with, but guess what? Win can play it too. And not gonna lie, Win's Ling, when his debut coming in towards the regular season was kind of slow, later on, he picked up some steam, and now in his grand finals, it feels like maybe this is going to be his redemption of his Ling.
It feels like you're trying to say that Win's better at Ling than Chiku is without saying it. Almost a little suspicious, but like, I'm going to let it slide for now, as Todak going to be banning out the Yi Shinshin once more. I guess they want to force Sasa on that Clint again, now that they have the Roger and a pretty strong, relatively strong level 4 and decent early game with the Roger. They should be able to do something here. Team SMG, the question is, what do they want Smooth to deal with? Is it going to be the Ruby? No, they banned it out. But now they still have other options like the Barat. Is it going to something they want to deal with? It's either Barat or Benedetta, one or the other.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep, the Barat's gonna be banned out. Would be annoying, especially since the Daytona's Welcome can catch the Ling. However, what you guys were mentioning earlier about Todak trying to force Sasa back onto the Clint, it sure does make sense. They ban out the Kimmy, they ban out the Yi Sunshin, and the Roger and Eve are very good at catching him out. However, another hero that we know Sasa for playing has actually been led through the draft, which is the Bruno. which early game damage is incredibly solid.
That's a really, really good point here. Bruno is kind of wide out open here, but Momo, he was pretty successful against Geek Fam Panda when he was playing Bruno into the Lapu Lapu matchup, and Lapu Lapu is going to be really good in terms of just stopping the Farsa. There we go, Lapu Lapu, immediate pick for Todak's side. I don't think Team SMG is going to yeah, haha, joke's on you, I just got the Benedetta now.
Yeah, I guess, you know, but speaking of which here, SMG, that's the thing, right? Sasa has shown himself he's been able to play multiple roles. Alice is something that he's also played. Marksman is also something he's played. Occasionally, there's just too many heroes that Sasa has shown himself to be a force to be reckoned with. Todak, they're assuming the fact that maybe he is going to play the Bruno, but that's the thing. Options on the Sasa, he can just flex around whenever he wants.
Oh, the Alice shoutout is actually pretty good here. I think this might be a game that fits the Alice pick because they already have the Ling and Farsa to carry out the early game, and it's a very easy way to jump onto the Eve and get the stun. But, changing things up here. We're going to be seeing Expedia on the Estes and Sasa on the Claude.
Okay, so they want to supercharge themselves to make sure that Zyme Senpai, even if he gets attacked in the backline, if he just gets towards Expedia's side, he's going to get that initial heal. The mid lane is going to be quite annoying for Todak, but let's see how this goes. What is Formaze going to pick? Is he going to go for the Alice or the Benedetta?
This is so weird, but at the same time, the perfect hero for Todak now is going to be the Baxia, but the question here is, who can play a Baxia?
Momo can play the Baxia, actually.
On the jungle?
No, they've already got the Roger.
Or the tank.
Yep, there we go, the Benedetta. If they do want to actually pick out the Baxia, I think Momo will give up the Lapu Lapu over to Formaze, who's very capable of playing it, and then pick up the Baxia, because previously Momo, he wasn't the proficient side laner like we see today, more so the tank for Todak.
Yep, it seems like based on this Benedetta pick up here, knowing that Estes doesn't have really good rotations between the lanes, Todak is hoping that they are going to abuse the fact that Formaze is able to mirror or out-rotate and cut in terms of lane swaps. So I'm looking forward to see how it all goes down. Will Todak actually bounce back? Meanwhile, SMG currently taking the lead here in game number 3, starting off with the SS pickup with Sasa's Cloud and also Wind's Link to take charge. Will Todak be able to bounce back from this draft? Will they be able to rise up to the challenge? Because this is going to be a do-or-die moment here in the playoffs, as Todak have a long way to go. But ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the grand finals of game number 3.
All right, let's bring it as the Team SMG once again on the blue side with Todak on the red. Let's figure out how they want to play this out. Smooth already starting off a great trade onto Formaze. He is not gonna let him proxy his waves, but Todak, same habits again and again. We see Yums immediately go into the jungle and he wants to disrupt Win, and Win doesn't really mind. He may have a slow clear speed here, but Expedia is gonna keep him so healthy, it's not worth Yum's time. And here comes Zyme Senpai for the extra bit of punishment.
Yep, Yun's gonna have to walk away here. Oh! Does actually die to Expedia. That is not ideal against an Estes of all things. You don't expect to give away first blood. Team SMG now will be able to use that to take the Little Wanderer and start making some pressure here in the mid lane.
You know, this is Expedia taking advantage of the fact that Estes does have this initial burst. Going for the focus mark definitely caught Yums off guard. However, with that kill coming in from him means the first blood bounty has been available for you guys. Redeem this code before it's gone. And while you're at it, you can also check out the KFC delivery app by scanning out this QR code.
Actually, what I think you were trying to say is Expedia on the Estes, his passive is what gave him the extra damage, because the focusing mark just makes sure that he can hold on for his allies to deal more damage. But Formaze getting punished here. Quick rotations from Zyme Senpai. Oh! Smooth does not miss the jab. It was a little too late as Formaze used his eye for an eye way too early.
That just seemed like a bad idea from Formaze there. Sure, Benedetta can cut the lane, but against a Paquito, it's going to be difficult. And when you go that deep against a Ling, you're just asking to get caught out unaware. Yums now continuing to do his best to stop Win from farming, but I don't think he's going to make that much of an impact here.
Yeah, I mean, Win, it's still in the earlier stages for him, as Formaze and both Yums are just making sure that his rotations are going to be kept up. As mid lane gets attacked straight away as Chiku, guys, finds a kill onto Estes. He gets onto Zyme Senpai. He's getting
a little too greedy.
No.
He punishes him right under the turret with one tower shot. That's more than enough. Win, he doesn't, he just has his purple buff on him as he attacks Yums up on that top side. It's more than enough damage. Win catches up. Siam Senpai playing a hot game to punish Toda, but the rest of the team feels the passion and burn.
Oh my goodness, here comes Move. He's gonna jump on 4 base and he gets the combo as SMG takes a tremendous huge lead against Toda. Toda, they're losing our members left, right, front and center, and SMG is looking to take the lead here in game number 3.
The fatigue really starting to kick in. This is not classic Toda gameplay. They're making so many obvious mistakes here, and they are cutting the waves to try and create more space. Will it be enough though? As they jump on to Win, escapes with the Tempest of Blaze, the Feathered Airstrike will chase the rest of them away. Moon just barely surviving. Landshaker from Momo catches out Zion Senpai, but Sasa stops the recall from the bottom lane, gets the kill.
Oh my goodness. Team SMG, they control the river right now. This is weird because Todak was controlling the river against Orange Esports. It feels strange that the tables have turned and Team SMG setting the borders very clear. Walk into this river, try to press into our jungle. We will make sure it costs you.
Yep, definitely here. And at the same time, currently, Todak, they have to figure out what they need to do next. Currently, they're losing out so much economy. They can't seem to punish off members coming from SMG. And especially Sasa's positioning has been really difficult to work with. Being all over the map is something that Todak just needs to completely avoid or mirror in terms of split pushing.
Right now, Team SMG is still putting a lot of pressure onto Todak, taking a bit of poke down the mid lane. We saw earlier as well, the 4-maze was actually still cutting off the top wave, so it does look like that's going to be his way of laning against the Paquito. So he obviously loses that 1v1. Momo getting assaulted down here. Expedia eating some tower shots. They actually kill Zion Senpai in the mid lane. Smooth coming in, gets a 3-man knockout strike, but he gets kicked away of the dragon. Win is here to give him a hand. Dropping them real low. Tempest of Blaze will be able to point the kill onto Roger, but Yum somehow escapes.
How does Yum survive that? That was a guaranteed crit coming out of Win, and yet it just was not enough damage.
Nevertheless, here SMG still, what a beautiful execution coming from Smooth. Who would have thought Win would have connected? The comms on this fight was insane, but still, with that pickoff means SMG will be having the next turtle in their hands once again. Todak, how will they do this?
I mean, Todak doesn't really want to do much here. They're trying to rotate, but they realize that the mid lane is completely cut off to them. This is foreign territory. They can't cross this border as Team SMG brick wall them. They're forced to just call it off and run back into lane. But look at Sasa. He knows for a fact that Cho is nearby and is using the jungle creep to give him extra bits of information as Chiku guys runs into the jungle to steal.
Now this is good map awareness from Sasa. He knows that his team is taking turtle. Todak are gonna take that opportunity to try and gank him alone down bottom, so he's playing a little more safely. Also, oh, hold on, Wave the Dragon's gonna find Expedia in the mid lane, but Feathered Airstrike comes down to protect him, gonna chase Moon away while they get another kill onto Chiku, and now Win is chasing down Momo, gonna connect with the rest of his team. Momo has to pop the Bravest Warrior to get away. The Tempest of Blaze not gonna land, but Win manages to chase him down as Yums is hunted by the rest of Team SMG in the mid lane. Moon looking very weak right now. Win wants to go for the kill, but Moon does manage to juke him.
Oh my goodness, Win, he wants it and he gains for the right moment. He thought he was safe, but no, he's not, and now Win, he is gonna go in for more, but SMG, they completely outplayed that. Expedia could not be taken down at all, and Todak fell into the pitfalls of the trap being set. Meanwhile, SMG, they're gonna continue to assault. They're setting up Momo and Yu, but can they catch Win as of now? A great kick comes in and the blazing duet from SMG will turn the tides and SMG will prevail. Look at this, Win completely taunting Todak.
He's confident, he's getting really confident. Even Chiku just waiting for the right opportunity. Real world manipulation going to come on down. Win might be in trouble here. He takes so much damage. He gets the heal from Expedia. It might be, oh, more maze. He misses the execute. Doesn't get him. Chiku on the run as Smooth puts the pressure in towards that backline. 4-maze is juked all around them, using the Electo final blow as well to create some space.
How in the world does Win survive in that situation? That should have been a free kill to Todak. The fact that they were able to escape from that puts them so behind now. A 6k net worth lead in favor of Team SMG, and Win is feeling it right now. He's taunting them right in their faces.
Well, it's literally courtesy of Expedia, man, keeping it alive. However, the turtle will be secured for SMG, means they will continue with this brutal assault in the name of Win as he's on a 6-0-4 strike. Meanwhile, Formace, he might be the point of interest here. He goes for the electro final roll, but he is stranded and he might actually fall. He's gonna pay the price as the Estes will secure the kill under the turret's guidance.
They can't get these kills because of the Estes. The Estes is keeping everybody topped up with the Blessing of the Moon Goddess here as Win once again showing his face, forcing Chiku back to play safe. This orange buff is not something that Toda can actually take. Team SMG has spread their influence into enemy territory after breaking mid-tier 1.
Who can blame them? They're 7k behind, only 8 minutes into the game. They mean not. Oh, no, Yumes, not like this. A godlike streak going over to Win as Yumes unfortunately face checks the push with 3 members of SMG.
It's looking so good as Formace tries to clear out the wave. No, he's gonna die to Win. One more auto attack secures that kill. Team SMG completely disrespecting Toda for their mistakes. Chiku for a double kill. One more, give the fun of Team SMG. Oh my god, the humanity.
My goodness, and they still want more. It seems like Expedia, he does have the heal. Toda is going to be baited out from side of Smooth. Smooth, the kick comes in, but you know, here comes the feather airstrike. Toda, they're afraid. They let him off the hook and Smooth escapes. My goodness, Toda, how could this happen? They're just giving it to SMG.
SMG, they're just playing with sheer confidence right now. Todak, this is some unfamiliar territory, or the exhaustion and fatigue from the previous game might have gotten to them. Either way, it doesn't look like they're in a winning position. Team SMG has lethal, and they have done it before the very first Lord of the game.
I don't know how to feel about this right now. This goes against all expectations. The grand finals looking so one-sided. Team SMG playing out of their minds. They have a 9k net worth lead, and they grow it even further as they catch Moon.
They're just breaking their mental. Slowly but surely, they're going to break their morale, take everything that they're worth it. Formace tries to get away from the danger of Win. He gets hit by the G Kundo as well as the Way of the Dragon, but that just means that this Lord is definitely secured for Team SMG.
A little bit of overconfidence coming from Win. However, the team's got his back now. Transitioning for the buffs here, Smooth is going to be zoning up for the team. Meanwhile, Chiku, he really wants to pick a fight, but Sasa is just so great. And Feather Strike, Airstrike comes in. Toda immediately backs off. Simon Senpai holding it on as long as he can, and he wants to look for kills. Sasa, he does have the full stack. Does he want to commit? Toda, they want to re-engage, but seems like SMG, objective is key. Play it slow. The Lord is going to be coming in from the middle side, and guess what? Win is going to be in the process.
Yep, this is a kill situation here. They're going for the throw. They're going to sync up the waves and make sure that they escort this Lord with 2 of their support as well as their mid laner on top of Sasa, who will be rotating in towards Todak's jungle, taking what he can before it collides at the same time. Win on top side will help it out. Feathered Airstrike is going to begin. Bravest Warrior is coming up, but Momo is getting shoved away. Smooth picks him off so quickly for Mace. Oh my goodness, Momo is actually alive. Smooth, he should have secured that kill.
Oh, that was so close here, but as of now, the Empower minions are coming in, but Toda, they're playing really slow, and SMG, they have to go in for the push, but Toda, now what are they gonna do? They're forcing in on inhibitors. Toda, they have to make a move. He doesn't want to use his real move manipulation yet. Feather Airstrike has been baited out. Yume's gonna be trying to outmaneuver this fight, but it seems like SMG, they're just playing on their objectives. They're playing it slow, and they don't really want to force the fight yet. Win making an attempt on a bait, but Toda not committing at all.
It's a good defense by Todak there. That jump with the Bravest Warrior onto the far side was huge from Momo, and he survived it. Otherwise, they would have pushed straight in, but the real one manipulation gonna trap them out. Win gonna be able to escape.
Expedia
finds Expedia, but so much damage coming out from the Blazing 2 and immediately executes the rest of Todak with a double kill going over to Zion Senpai. They do manage to find Win, but Expedia somehow survives that, and Moon and Chiku, the only survivors who now have to defend the base against 4 members of Team Team SMG.
Oh, they realized the threat of Expedia. They went for it, but they could not kill him in time. And that is going to be Sasa clutching for the team as SMG. They look to take a 3-0, and Moon is going to get caught out. He's going to make a run for his life, but Chiku, can he defend against this? But SMG, they don't care. They want to take the game 3. And guess what? They're heading in towards game number 3. They took 3-0 against Todak.
A nasty snowball here for the side of Team SMG. They want to go for the 4-0 here and upset everybody's predictions to change the hearts and minds for the fans of Team SMG. GG, well played.
Could this be it? Could the fates have aligned to allow Team SMG to break their 8th place curse and get their first champion title in Season 8 of MPL MY? The next game will be where we find out, will Todak be able to bounce back from this, or will we get a clean sweep? Team SMG, what were they saying at the time of the game? Mic check, let's go.
Ngapain bro? Dia jalan sini kan? Ambil man.
You guys listen me. Lampu jalan ke biar kat je.
Tarik. Cantik balik. Dia orang down ni. Tak ada skill. Weh. Target. Ciku dulu. Nice. Nice. Apa dia ultai? Boleh masuk mid sih. Bene dari kiri. Apa lu ultai by the way? Apa dia ultai? Daki. Backup. Gapai bro. Nice. Ngapain bro? Weh, tak mati ke? Tak boleh, okey. Boleh masuk lagi tak? Betul. Boleh nak? Tahu. Boleh no? Ada baru kau.
Fates have aligned. This could just be it. Team SMG breaking the 8th place curse on Season 8 of the MPL MY. That's kind of nuts and a perfect storyline, a fairy tale storyline in a matter of fact for Team SMG.
Well, it seems like a fairy tale for most of us and the audience and the casters. But you know what it wasn't a fairy tale was? Sasa predicted this during week 3 during a regular season. If you think you can beat us, come at us. Guess what? They're here. They've got a 3-0 on the upper brackets. They predicted he's going to get the champion yesterday. And looks like one more game away and his dream will be realized.
I'm not too sure if I would count that sentence as a prediction, but either way, Team SMG are throwing their weight and they are proving that they have the mechanics and capabilities to back it up. Having a look at the highlights here of the previous few games. In Game 1, we already saw a very different Team SMG. They were rotating around as a team. Todak realizing they couldn't make any pickoffs at all because if they were to catch anyone, the entire might of Team SMG would be brought down upon them.
Yep, I mean, it was a really difficult game because Sasa was making huge contributions to the team, making sure that this positioning was rather perfect in a lot of these situations and catching out Chiku. But if we move on in towards Game 2, this is where you see the more calm and collected version of Team SMG. They're like, no, we're not going to let Sasa play the game by banning out a lot of his heroes, but he picks up Clint and really shows us how it's done with a great draft and, more importantly, countering out this Paquito in the jungle. They did a phenomenal job in Game 2.
Yeah, and seeing how this game is going out as well, it feels like Zyme Senpai has been one of the very, very strong commanders coming from SMG. He was able to lead this team with his quick decision makings here, especially in punishing Chiku. And most of this time, he realizes that if you catch Chiku and take him out, the game is pretty much over. You slow down his farm, Chiku cannot do anything. And every single time, the priority targeting from SMG was insane.
And we have to look at Expedia as well. All the healing coming out from the Estes managed to save his teammates so many times and win on the Ling. I was a bit concerned whether or not he would still play as well as before, considering how long it's been since he had the chance to play this hero. That doesn't matter at all. Team SMG are at the peak peak of their performance and looking to clean sweep the grand finals.
Oh my goodness, it's really unexpected. Like, Team SMG have worked so hard and come so far here, but Todak isn't going to let them have it just yet. This game, I would say, is the cleanest so far by Team SMG. And if Todak want to come back into this, it is going to be in game number 4. But looking at the item list here, nothing too out of the ordinary, but more importantly for Sasa, getting that Winds of Nature, really making the difference in this game.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but I feel like based on this condition that SMG has put in themselves into, was that Expedia was able to condition himself to a point where he's so tanky and forces Todak to kind of prioritize his way through. But while you're doing that, you have the protection of both Sasa as well as Win. Two really, really difficult targets to pick off. And Yums, even though he's a Cho, even though we've talked about how strong a Cho is, but he can only focus on one guy. It's either Sasa or it's Win. Both really, really difficult heroes to catch.
Yeah, I think Todak should have made the adaptations by rotating across the map, because Expedia would not be able to actually keep up with Yums, especially with the G Kundo and Shunpo resets off of it. It could be a little frustrating to deal with. I feel like Todak, they should have been targeting some of the members, and more importantly, Sasa, or at the very least, if they wanted to get to Zyme Senpai, they needed to bring the whole team with them.
The problem is Todak, once again, their style doesn't quite fit this. But before we move on with that, let's see who the MVP of this game was, powered up with KFC. And it is going over to Win on the Ling 9-7 match. KDA, the man was absolutely unstoppable. You guys mentioned that Todak, they should have tried to rotate a little bit more, but it was so difficult because every time they did, Win was already there to respond.
Yep, SMG just taking full advantage of the Link's rotation, and Vin has been all over the map to a point that Todak cannot deal with this. So, great response coming in from SMG, but still Todak would have needed the box here perhaps to actually deal with the healings here. But still, Win played it so well. Props to Win as well as Expedia.
Could have, would have, should have. SMG rolled them in that game. There's nothing much that they could have done about it, even if they had the Boxia, considering that the side lanes were also having a tough time for Maze. For once, I've never seen him struggle in a lane, but up against that Paquito, Smooth, as well as Sasa, they are really feeling tip-top of their game today.
This is the thing, Todak is a team that wants to snowball, and usually the way they achieve this is by catching out stragglers. They're individually very skilled in mechanics. They know how to play at a very high level. They're able to pick off people in 1v1s as long as the situation allows for it. But Team SMG, very smartly, just don't give them that option. They're always together. They're rotating as a team. And while this means that the split push can happen, like from 4-Maze, Smooth was always by himself, making sure that didn't happen. Win would catch him off, and constantly pressure after pressure coming out from Team SMG.
No, it's really interesting, right? Considering that Todak do heavily emphasize on this playstyle, and SMG tend to make a lot of these mistakes during regular seasons, but for them to not be able to catch Smooth, who's the only one who's kind of out of position, kind of begs the question, what is going on?
I mean, honestly, I would say that Smooth is playing a very, very hot game. He's becoming more and more patient, waiting for abilities to come to him. He's used the knock-up strike to actually dodge abilities at certain points of the game, which is kind of shocking because most of the time, Smooth does get a little lazy-fingered with it most of the time during the regular season. So it's fast, it's crisp, and it is sharp.
Exactly. I definitely agree, because that is something that, I don't know what happened. Ever since James came in Season 7, we did see a little bit improvements, but they're still stuck there. But this season, it feels like it was a complete different SMG that we've seen. It looks, they're the same person, but they look very refined, very disciplined as compared to before.
I want to bring up the question about sports psychologists. How much of a difference has it made for this team? Because now, as you can see by the comms, they are just getting calmer, more zen, as some may say, throughout these games.
Well, as we know, a good mental state going into games is incredibly important. It basically makes the difference between victory or loss. And while Team SMG came in today to the grand finals with a fresh mind, we have to remember, again, Todak had to go through a best of 5. I'm thinking that the fatigue is starting to set in. They're starting to tilt a little bit, and you're seeing it in their gameplay, because even though they're still playing pretty well individually, they're not really going cohesively as a team. They're trying as hard as they can to secure those kills, but the playstyle just doesn't work against SMG.
Yeah, I agree. This might be the second time Todak is going to be going through this process once again. One from Season 7 and now from Season 8.
Oh.
This is really, really hard to watch, especially for Todak fans, because for them to watch this gruesome battle of attrition, SMG just have it easy.
I mean, I don't think Team SMG, by all means, they've worked so hard to make it feel easy to, and they've lost how many seasons, not even making it to the upper brackets.
Okay.
So I really give all the credit to Team SMG.
Okay, I think about what? Since Season 1 all the way to Season 7, you know, or roughly around 4 to 5 seasons, they have not even touched, top 6 at all. And yeah, I guess, you know, in terms of stamina, SMG's got the better one, you know? It's not just by 1 day, 2 days, it's like multiple seasons. I think years now.
Yep, it has been years, and especially for one of the more original members, Zion Senpai, he's got to be so proud of his team, and after investing so much time and effort of his life to make sure that this team gets to a world championship, this might be the season for it. However, it's going to be one more game until they're able to completely do so. Team SMG, as you can see, are ready to go. They are so close, but hopefully the Zen doesn't break this game, allowing Todak an opportunity to try and bring this back into their favor.
Considering how much Team SMG has improved for this season, they're really feeling like the protagonists of this story. And if any team deserves a clean sweep victory in the grand finals, I feel like it's them that deserves it, considering how much work they put in and how clean their gameplay has been. But Todak have ever been the villains of MPL, and now it is their job to impede this progress, to become that final obstacle. But will they be able to do so?
Look, every time, especially, this is very unique to the MPL MY, we have never had recurring champions. For a very good reason. Everybody's rooting for the underdog. Every underdog is hungrier than their opponents. Todak, they are hungry too, but you can tell that there is something else in Team SMG right now.
I agree. I definitely agree. But yeah, it seems like SMG finally taking it here. Can they take the cake? Because I'm looking forward to see a very, very clean game. They're just one game away to be crowned the champions. As you can see, Long, gonna be showing a little bit of support, but it's just unfortunate that he's not gonna be playing with them.
I mean, you can see it in his eyes. He's very proud of his team, but more importantly so, he's making sure that he has clean communication with Coach James on the other side, making sure he's relaying the information as much as he can and keeping him up to date. Team SMG, you know what's going to happen. The conga line is going to come together before they come back out. Prayers and beliefs, they're ready to go. Sasa, cool as ever, ready to pull through, joins the conga line as well.
Team SMG marching into the stage once again. Look at the smiles on their faces. This is a team full of confidence, full of excitement at the possibility of finally claiming MPL champion title. Sorry, I can't hold on.
I can't too.
No, we
Sasa
can't.
is just like, you know what? You know, it's cool and all. You know what? I gotta be cool. I gotta be, you know, cool. You know, this thing is just, I'm just cool, man.
Yeah, nice,
I'm
man.
just cool, man.
I'm totally part of the conga line. You can totally feel my hand from
I
here.
really like how Sasa just appears on the camera, not part of the line, and then the moment he sees it, he's like, oh, I'm on camera again.
Yeah,
I
cool.
probably should join.
Yeah, spiritually with them. Don't worry about me. You know, I just want to do my own thing. I'm cool. I'm just the cool guy, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's true, but here at the English broadcast, you can see Team SMG just lining up behind us right over here, getting over to their seats and getting ready for their upcoming game. Honestly, I can't imagine what it feels like to be Todak at this point in time, being so close to getting the second championship in a row. Well, not in a row, but reoccurring one here at the MPL MY, which has not been done before, and losing an I hope this doesn't happen, especially for the Todak fans out there, but hopefully they don't lose the exact same way they did in Season 7.
Okay, that's the thing, right? The difference between Season 7 and now is more like Todak, they did push back in the grand finals. You know, the best of 7, it was just really unfortunate that Todak lost. Is yes, arguably fatigue, but two, at least they showed some sign of fight against RSG. But here, it wasn't really clear that Todak was tired. It felt like Todak was very disoriented rather than tired. It's more like there's something going in the heads of Todak where they're just tilted. It might be tilt, it might be frustration, that it might be miscommunication. It's just so weird.
Or it could just feel competence, because at this point there is no stakes other than a championship title of the MPL MY under their belt. We see you, our YouTube audience, as well as the Facebook, trying to push on back for Team SMG. Now an overwhelming majority, 63%, say Team SMG is going to take this away. But even on Instagram and even our locals with the QR code believing that even now, at the brink of being eliminated and losing this championship, that Todak will be able to come back.
Well, it does look like that our YouTube crowd is a little bit more indecisive compared to some of the others, but I understand. Honestly, watching the way Team SMG plays, even my faith would be shaken.
Well, seems to me they are going to swap Ajik in for the pinch server for Todak, as 4-mates will be sitting down. Very, very unexpected turn of events here coming from Todak.
Okay. Now Ajik is going to have to be able to do his own settings here for that time being, but we can talk about how this kind of changes up the draft. Ajik, day number 1, he was nervous based on what the management has told me, and specifically he was shaken. But after a couple of days, after watching game number 2, he's seen the performance of the other rookie of the team, which is going to be his partner in arms, Yums. He's cool, calm, and collected.
And it's very important that he does so here. Ajik, he's got a big shoes to fill if he wants to bring the series back in Todak's favor. But having a look at Game 3's recap, the drafts coming out from Team SMG are just so solid overall.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, based on this situation, it's more like Todak had to kind of situational ban against especially, or is it say respect ban? Sorry, let me correct that. Respect ban SMG's draft because of the cheese strat that they brought to the table from game 1, game 2, which kind of enabled them to open up so many more opportunities. Like Ling was something that everyone kind of banned against SMG and or as well Todak. For them to let go in the first phase, pretty much it's just giving it to SMG.
Well, let's also keep in mind that a lot of teams who deal with Todak, especially when it comes down to answering the question of the playoff meta, Yves or Farsa, they usually have something to actually disrupt it. But for the first time, we're seeing that Team SMG, literally none of their members, only for Paquito as well as Farsa, have a form of knockup or stun to stop Yves. They generally did not care. They said, yeah, Yves scales, but not as hard as Expedia on this Estes, who's going to supercharge us as long as we don't drop the ball. It didn't help that Todak's side laners lost pressure.
Yep, I agree with that completely. This was a smart idea from Team SMG. They don't need to focus too hard. Put all of their eggs into disrupting the Eve, because that just disrupts the rest of their game plan. They knew that with the blessing of the Moon Goddess, they would have no problem surviving the damage from the Eve, because it scales much less compared to the Feathered Airstrike, and they just walked over Todak. Their team fighting is incredibly strong right now, and Todak needs a way to be able to disengage from these situations. If they're able to play heroes, like for example, say the Bane with the Deadly Catch, that might be a good solution.
I don't know, that just doesn't feel like Chiku's playstyle, but it might be Ajik's playstyle. Hopefully they can utilize his hero pool to their advantage now when Todak needs it the most. We're going to be starting off with Team SMG on the blue side, Todak on the red, starting things off with the Selena ban.
Well, SMG, as of yet here, they're not showing signs of slowing down anytime soon, and for them to actually draft against Todak seems to be a little bit clear-cut. They are warmed up. My concern right now is that can Ajik keep up in speeds with Todak, because he's been not having a great game thus far, especially when he dropped, I wouldn't say he, but I feel like the team kind of felt he dropped the ball during their upper bracket plays.
I mean, what can you do? Yums was not feeling well that day. They had to put in somebody, and Ajik was the only one to fill up those shoes. And Jiku just forced to play the tank role at that point of time. Now, Team SMG, they're also going to be banning out the Phobius. I feel like this is a setup for something, but I can't tell what just yet. Todak, they quickly ban out Yves.
I'm wondering what Todak is going to plan to do here. Ajik, he's gonna be feeling a lot of pressure on his shoulders, because after not playing for a little while, he's suddenly brought back in as a substitute once again in none other than the game that will determine Todak's survival in the grand finals. That really requires some mental fortitude, and I hope that he's going to be able to stand up to the pressure.
Yep, this time Todak gonna be respecting Zion Senpai a little bit more this time. Eve and Farsa's gonna be taken out. However, considering that Selena's been taken out, Zion Senpai is gonna be forced to play something else. In this case,
you know it.
Kagura?
Yep. That's exactly my thoughts, I see, baby. This is looking like a Kagura game for sure, but they are on the blue side. There's a lot more priority picks to be obtained. For an example, Paquito, which hasn't been banned out just yet. I don't know if Todak want to let it through, but it seems like they're going to threaten it. Cho being the follow-up ban coming in from Team SMG to finish their first rotation of the bans. Todak now to finish their own.
Yep, Todak, they have to make a decision now. Do they want to deal with the Paquito or the Matilda in the hands of Expedia? Both really, really annoying heroes. However, it feels like Expedia's hero pool is starting to be a threat here. Do they want to respect the Rafaela? Do they want to respect the Estes? Or do they want to respect the Matilda? Because Smooth, he's been playing Paquito for what? A few games now?
We have to respect Expedia as well. His growth has been nothing short of incredible. We have to remember that this is his first MPL as well. He's just as much as a rookie as many of these other players, and he is communicating and coordinating with Team SMG amazingly. The Hayabusa is the final ban from Todak, which means that they are allowing the Paquito through. Smooth going to be playing that hero once again. Todak, they need a strong side laner to be able to deal with this.
Strong side laner, or are they just expected to make something happen here? I think it could be a more defensive playstyle. Momo might be put onto a tank here, but we'll just have to wait and see. Matilda, quick pickup coming in for the side of Todak. Are they going to pair it up with something else? Are they going to prioritize Moon here, or are they going to prioritize getting Chiku first?
Yeah, it seems like Todak's draft has always been, saving up Chiku's heroes towards the last moment, which didn't exactly work out until now. And SMG, they have the perfect read. They know that as long as Chiku tilts, it's all good. But so far, we haven't seen the Belleric in a very, very long time, considering that Todak has pretty much played it the entire, almost nearly entire the regular season. Most of it.
Yeah, I mean, Momo has just been, that's like his signature, and I don't even know whether even he likes playing the hero or not. The Team SMG going to be locking in the Rafaela as well as the Kagura. Huge signatures and comfort picks for Team SMG.
Yep, you guys called it. It's going to be the Zion Senpai Kagura game. We're going to get to see that signature pick once again, but Todak, they have some big questions to answer here. The Belleric pick, all things considered, might not be a bad choice because that's a hero that really activates when the enemy team likes to play together, and that's exactly what Team SMG have been doing. But Todak so far hasn't really been showing the hero, instead going to be locking in the Yi Sun Shin quite early on.
I think this is a denial pick more than anything else. They can hover it between the gold lane or giving it over to Ajik, both of which is totally fine, but as long as it doesn't fall into the hands of Sasa, that's good. I think it's going to be all right. Now, as we move on into the second ban phase here, it's very clear that Team SMG most likely are going for a probable double core strategy. We might even see a Lancelot coming out a win.
This is going to be something interesting, right? Like, if you think about it, Matilda gives you this additional stat jump, and Yi Sun Shin has been basically able to abuse in and out of the situations. Understandably, Todak has more mobility compared to SMG, and SMG, it feels like they have to play a very defensive draft just because of how I would say how immobile they can be. They have the damage, but they cannot outchase a Yi Sun Shin with a Matilda providing the assistance.
I mean, we'll see how it goes, because right now I just noticed Ling is wide out in the open here, and I think Todak is going to get rid of the rest of these assassins within the second ban phase. They've already gotten rid of one of my predictions, which was Lancelot. If it's going to be Ling, then it's clear that Todak wants to go for double core. Team SMG, on the other hand, get rid of the Ruby. So if you get rid of Ruby, I don't know whether Team SMG is looking for counterpick, is trying to deny counterpicks for Smooth, because Kimmy is also wide open and Todak can't ban everything.
Now, the Ruby ban is definitely to deal with any potential counters to Team SMG's current playstyle, because again, they like to group up, and Ruby just really likes it when the enemy groups up, because she can CC multiple people at once. The Kimmy is going to be the choice from Todak. They're gonna get rid of that, which means that Team SMG could decide to go for the Ling again. However, I'm suspecting that Todak might actually want to grab it themselves.
Yeah, definitely agreeing on this here. But and now the question here, SMG, they will be quick on the response, knowing that Todak, they need a frontliner. So is Momo going to be playing a core, or is he going to be forced to play something on a Belleric? In this case, they could have the possibility of flexing into the jungle, and that was pretty much Ajik's hero, Barats. That's about it.
Well, I think it's strange. For once in a very long time, we're seeing that Team SMG is actually prioritizing the second ban phase to make sure Smooth doesn't have to deal with annoying matchups like Ruby as well as the Barat, which it's been a very, very long time. And, you know, Smooth had fallen off during Season 7, having one of the worst performances in his career then. But now he's coming back with a vengeance. It's going to be the first pick, Baxia, for the side of Todak.
Wow, finally.
That's interesting coming out from Todak here. A Baxia pick at this stage of the game. I'm wondering if they intend to put this in the jungle. But based on Todak's playstyle, it feels more likely that it will be a side laner. But Team SMG surprising us once again. Despite the lane being wide open, they lock in the Karina as well as the return of Zasa's Bruno.
Wow, I perfectly understand what Todak is thinking here. Like, the Baxia pickup was something that they needed in the previous games, but because I feel like they just don't have the players to actually play that role. But at the same time, SMG, they needed some sort of frontline tank, and based on that situation, I think based on the draft here, Smooth is just not enough considering how mobile Todak can be. So denying the Baxia from win is pretty smart. But Todak, they go for the glue. What?
Yep, it's been a very long time since we've seen glue here, but it looks like it's going to be Ajik on that Baxia in the jungle to try and deny space and time to match the rotations coming out from Karina so she doesn't get those easy and quick kills. Team SMG going to be banking a lot of their resources into Sasa, but they're playing for the early game here. Bruno scales hyper late, but his early game power to get ahead through energy platings is so effective.
Well, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The last chance for Todak. If they don't win this, they're in trouble. Team SMG, they have a Karina, they have the Rafaela, they have the Bruno. Their early game looking incredibly scary, as well as Smooth on the Paquito. He's been doing very well there, but Todak changing things up a little bit. They're gonna go for a dual tank style, which works pretty good against an early game assassin like the Karina, while allowing the scaling on Yi Sunshin and Lunox. You can hear the screams of excitement from the players behind us. They know it's now or never.
Welcome to game number 4, match point for Team SMG. The crowd is going wild with screams. Team SMG on the blue side, Todak on the red. Let the games begin.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, here, this is going to be game 4. SMG 1 game away from being crowned the champions. This is going to be a very important match for them. However, Todak, are they going to be the one to put the full stops in? Because little did they know, Ajik playing the Baxia is going to be a huge factor to begin with. SMG have to be careful in their fights. However, interesting fact enough, they are going to try and take a jab towards Moon. He's going to be isolated. The flank comes in. Moon going to be powered down a little bit more, but seems like he is going to be able to retreat from this fight, and Momo will provide the assistance. But now, towards the interesting fact here. RSG and also Todak. If you think about it, in Season 7, Todak was one of the few teams that prioritized first picking glue and pushed their way in towards the upper brackets. Likewise coming from RSG, but guess what? They're bringing back here again in Season 8.
Yeah, I mean, Momo has evolved as a player. He was the dedicated tank for Todak, but then decided to go in towards the EXP lane, playing a lot of that tank meta in the EXP lane for a long time before he transitions into big playmakers like Brody, like Lapu, as we've seen before. Right now, Team SMG, I just want to watch how Sasa and as well as Chiku guys are playing the lane here, because both of which understand perfectly what they have to do. Win as well as Zyme Senpai ready to make something happen. Zyme Senpai tanks the Shield Unity onto Iwards Ajik, but Win not going to waste his time with using his spells on him. He just wants to keep Sasa safe.
It's honestly quite risky of Todak to go for a double tank strat at this point in the game. They're threatening Todak right now, but SMG isn't quite able to follow up, and that is because having 2 tanks makes it very difficult for Karina to actually get the early game kills that the hero wants to snowball off of. So while it's risky to change things up right now, this could be a good solution to what Team SMG is bringing to the table.
Yep, SMG gonna go for the push. Oh, the turtle being stolen from RG. That's gonna be huge for Toda. On top of it all, they've got a mounted shocker, and SMG did not expect that at all.
Yep, they didn't expect the sudden burst of damage, and you can tell Buin didn't even use his retribution in time. I think he was waiting for his Shadow Dance to actually come back up before he was going to burst it down. But honestly, them having the turtle is great for Todak. Not that big of a deal for Team SMG, but it depends. As Sasa gets attacked by the Shield Unity on top of Aji, he slide tackles out of there. The Tortoise Poisson's already being expanded as well. Smooth proxying top wave.
Yep, they are going to try and go for a couple trades here. The split comes in to try and scare them off, but now the fight comes in. Moon almost getting shot with a flame shot, but Win is going to buy a little more time, but he might actually get caught out. Now, Expedia will provide the assistance, but Moon will survive. A close fight indeed, but SMG playing it slow. Zyme Senpai is really rare for him to miss this kind of flame shots.
Yep, but I mean, you know, it takes some time. Team SMG is very comfortable in this point in time. Nothing to be nervous about. Chiku actually flickering over this, the River Crab pit. Does he steal it? No, he does not. Even Mountain Shocker will not be able to take it away. You can see that Team SMG just solely playing for Sasa's lane.
However, we have to remember that so far, this has been one of the better early games coming out from Todak. SMG up until now has really been choking them out, so they're doing a pretty good job of holding against the aggression. Moon now coming down bottom side to deal with the 3-man push from SMG along with a jig, but SMG going to retreat straight away.
Win just continuously roaming around the map. He hasn't really found anything. Zyme Senpai will get on out of there, and Todak playing extremely defensively. Team SMG actually being the aggressors, especially since Smooth, yep, he rotated from top side as he rotates faster than Momo on that glue towards mid to look for some form of punishment.
Yep, here comes the catch coming from Momo, and he steals the purple buff against SMG, and that is gonna be huge. SMG Win, gotta figure out what to do next, and him missing up 2 objectives is gotta put a dent into his SMG defense. Expedia now gonna get caught out. The Mountain Shocker will slowly chip him away, and Sasa making a run for his life as Zyme Senpai gonna be sacrificing his life potentially, but Toda, they just don't have the damage. They will play it slow. However, on the other side of the map, a very ballsy play coming from Win, sneaking the turtle away from Todak.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a win for Team SMG at the end of the day. They're slightly ahead, but not enough to be a threat. Moon coming in with the Darkening. He's going to go and join the dive from Ajik onto Sasa. A pretty easy dive overall. Zyme Senpai completely zoned out. Could not do anything about it, but here comes Smooth, as well as Momo, who pulls him back after completing the split and the slam. But Chiku, guys, ready to make something happen here. They collapse, take out Smooth at the same time. Todak looking better this game.
This is a second lease of life. This Baxia jungle working out for Todak. That's gonna be first blood bounty, guys. Once again, redemption code, QR code. You don't want to miss it, and you definitely don't want to miss a moment of this action as Todak finally showing signs of life up against the opponents that have eluded them for so long.
Well, Ajik being the pinch server coming from Toda is paying off. After all, Ajik was in the roster when they faced up against SMG.
Yeah, I mean, even when they did... Oh, wait, hold on. They actually switched lanes here. Glue is now on the bottom side of the map. I think they spotted Glue making his way over and now have made a preemptive motion. You can see that even Chiku, he's sick of it. He cannot deal with Bruno in lane so early on without his items. So now he's going to try and make a punishment onto Smooth by rotating through the mid lane. Moon already on the Darkening, trying to get on top of Smooth, who's waiting for his cooldowns, gets the heavy left hand, 1 jab, but he doesn't have anything left. Smooth will be going down. Top side getting attacked by Team SMG as they preemptively move towards the mid lane.
Todak are basically taking a page out of Team SMG's book. They're now the ones rotating as multi-man parties, but Ajik, gonna get saved by the guiding wind. He was in a little bit of trouble, but a very nice play from Yumes allows him to escape. Mountain Shocker will scout out the rest of Team SMG, so they know that they're playing around the turtle pit and want to contest it.
Yep, seems like the third turtle is going to be an important one here from them here as well. Nice catch coming from Expedia with the holding baptisms, and they swam their way through. Sasa is going to get dived on, but he flickers out out of there, and Toda, they can't finish him off. Momo going for to be stuck on the spiders of the team, but SMG, they're holding on, and Toda, they won't need to disengage. Brilliance comes in smooth, looking for the KO punch. Can he go for the setup? He's buying a little more time. XP, they're trying to keep him alive, but looks like he will have to disengage. Zion Senpai re-engages, tries to go in for the push, but he gets back up really low. But Toda, he survives, but Momo will eventually bleed out to the burn from the orange buff as SMG still looking to contest the turtle, but that trade-offs here means that Todak, they will have to go in for the reset. Seems like SMG, they are gonna let go for this for now as they go in for lane controls once again.
Well done to Win, using his purple retribution to get that last bit of damage that he needed, and an extra bit of dot damage as well to burn out Momo on top of the orange buff. Now, looking at the item build so far, the Calamity Reaper is almost done for the side of Win. All he needs is just a little bit more gold. He's got the Radiant Armor to protect himself from specifically Moon, who likes to use the Darkening more than the Brilliance to get that consistent amount of damage. He's playing, you know, Moon likes to play in a form of a marksman, but from time to time when he needs to be aggressive and burst, he's ready to go with the Brilliance.
Yep, seems like the turtle is going to be the point of interest here coming from Toda once again, but looks like who's going to be out of here. Finally, SMG gets it again as well. They are going to be swarming his way through. Totoys was on keeping them at bay, but the glue going to pull Win to the backside, but eventually they don't have the damage. They take down Anji and SMG. They're pushing forward. Toda is going to be on the retreat. Win taking a little bit too much damage, but they can't seem to finish him off. Last take here, Yums forcing the flicker, takes him down, but at the same time, he's out of position. He's surrounded by his SMG, and he's gonna die. But out the midst of this confusion, Chiku was not even in this fight at all, as Asasa was able to get a couple kills on top of it all.
An unwinnable 4v5 here, Staffa.
Yeah, that was huge. Sasa getting the double kill up top, and the Blade
Oh,
Dance
no.
keeping the Karina
Oh,
alive as Moon gets comboed down. That's the Zion Senpai flame shot snipe secures yet another casualty. And although Todak were doing good in the beginning, the mid-game team fights have now started, and this is Team SMG's time to shine.
Well, Yin Yang Overturn has already been expanded here. Ajik manages to get out just in time. 3 more seconds until wait. Is this a re-engagement from Ajik? This doesn't look like a good idea. Momo may be in position, but they can't necessarily get on top of Sasa without getting hit by a Holy Baptism. He's not going to risk it. He backs away. Remember to play for these objectives. 44 more seconds on the turtle.
Yep, seems like Toda, they are going to try and focus on the buff a little bit more. As SMG, they want to look for the pressure. Expedia looking for the burst move. Does he steal it? No, he does not. Powder Shocker reviews the position. SMG knows that that is going to be a big ultimate coming down. They are going to try to force the middle turret here. Chiku going to be joining the fight. Doesn't have the buff. Kenny had the big one. Momo's going to be joining from the side, and SMG, they're going to get caught out. The Holy Baptist comes in, slows him down a little bit more, but they are going to try and pull Win back. Can they finish him off? The crowd control comes in, but from the side, Sasa comes in. He saves the day. He gets a double. They take them all out. Todak, they got to throw the triple kill for Sasa. They continue to get for more, and they get a team wipe. SMG, they completely wipe them out in terms of rotation. Oh my goodness, SMG!
They're doing it. They're actually doing it. They're going to run it down. They're going to break the tier 2, and now they're also going to get the inhibitor because Yums has no form of a literal any way to clear this wave. Yums is having to back off, and Team SMG will back away now. This is a huge win for Team SMG. Sasa is popping off, and Smooth is ready to be the foundation he stands on.
A massive swing in Team SMG's favor as they get a team wipe onto Todak, and with all 5 members dead from that fight, so too are the dreams of Todak dwindling to gain the championship title. They focus so much energy on catching out Win that the rest of Team SMG could just finish the rest of them off.
Oh my goodness, that was a really rough fight here. Toda, they looked like they were so good, but guess what? They were all so clumped up together. Sasa was just getting a free ultimate in all these team fights, which is kind of insane. But now, with this next Lord fight coming in, Toda may need to this even more than SMG, but seems like SMG will be the ones to try and bait Toda out of this really awkward situation. They're coming down to the last bottom. Powder Shocker comes in. Who's gonna get a steal? It's gonna be Sasa, but they're all surrounded. But a big catch from Zion Senpai catches Toda. They're all stuck, but the Brilliance was gonna be there. But Moon is gonna be all by himself. No backup whatsoever. SMG comes up on top. Momo gonna try and return the favor, but Win, he's just too tanky, and Momo is gonna be the next to fall. Sasa gets the triple kill. Todak only have Chiku left.
This could be it. 8k net worth advantage. 4 members alive. Chiku, the only one surviving. Yube's coming to join him, but he's dead.
It's over.
Legendary streak for Sasa. Yube's and Ajik, the only ones to defend, but
LaFell Vera, please take it away with our new champions here up on stage, Team SMG.
Dan dekat sini, inilah juara MPL Malaysia Musim ke-8 Team SMG.
Tahniah kepada Team SMG kerana berjaya menjadi juara MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 sekaligus telah memecahkan sumpahan mereka selama ini. Dan tidak lupa juga kita ingin mengucapkan tahniah kepada tim Todak kerana telah berjaya untuk mewakili Malaysia ke M3. Walaupun mereka telah mendapat tempat kedua, kita juga harus mengucapkan tahniah dan selamat maju jaya kepada mereka. Dengan ini, kita ingin menjemput ke semua player daripada Tim SMG, manager dan juga coach untuk naik ke atas pentas kerana kita akan memulakan upacara selepas ini. Jadi Rafael, kita dah nampak semua orang dah get ready.
Oh ya. Yeah.
Semua orang dah get ready. Jadi ini masanya untuk kita menjemput VIP Muntun Esports Manager iaitu Mr. Siu Hao Zen untuk memberikan penghargaan kepada player-player kita bagi playoff, MVP dan juga medal kepada champion.
Ya, dekat sini kita akan announce siapakah MVP untuk playoffs kat sini. Kepada semua penonton kat sini, you guys dah boleh shout rasa-rasanya siapa yang menjadi MVP playoff. Alright, nampaknya ini semua dah ready. So, playoff MVP kita adalah Sasa!
Sasa sememangnya raksasa sepanjang MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 ini. Dan tahniah lagi sekali pada Sasa kerana berjaya mendapatkan gelaran MVP playoff kita kali ini. Jadi Rafael, selepas ini adalah masanya untuk mereka mendapat medal.
Ya, lagi sekali nak ucapkan tanya kepada Sasa. Sekarang ni dah confirm you lah Raja Marksman dekat Malaysia. Jadi, sekarang ni kepada kita punya VIP, apa kata kita memberi medal kepada kesemua player Team SMG.
Okay. So, kita dah nampak player-player semua dah happy. Bukan diorang je, kita nampak audience pun sangat terkejut dengan keputusan 4-0.
Oh, terus terang saya pun terkejut. Saya ingatkan akan pergi ke 7-7 game. Tapi akhirnya Team SMG menunjukkan mereka lebih kuat 4-0.
Okay, sesiapa yang nak ambil gambar, nak ambil story dan sebagainya, jangan lupa untuk menggunakan hashtag MPL MY musim ke-8. Kerana inilah masanya untuk korang sangat-sangat rugi kalau you guys tak record momen yang sangat berharga ini.
Ya. And again, kepada players SMG, apa kata semua sekali pakai medal tersebut. Tunjukkan the glory, tunjukkan kepada Malaysia siapakah champions untuk MPL season kali ini.
Okey, semua pakai medal sebab selepas ini kita akan ada momen untuk bergambar. Dan dengan ini saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada VIP kita dan terima kasih kerana sudi bersama kita boleh turun ke bawah pentas. Okey? Kerana selepas ini kita nak ada apa lah, Fel?
Thank you Mr. Silhausen. You can exit the stage now. And kepada kesemua players, trofi agak berat kat situ. So make sure semua sekali pegang trofi. Now, wait for my call. Wait for my call. Dalam kiraan 3, 2, 1. Dekat 1 you guys angkat, okay? 3, 2, 1. Your champions SMG! Tanya lagi sekali kepada pasukan Team SMG dengan kemenangan bersih 4-0. Inilah champion anda. Inilah wakil Malaysia bagi KM3.
Ini momen yang sangat-sangat mengharukan kerana mungkin mereka tak sangka dan seperti yang kita lihat sebelum playoff, Sasa telah menjanjikan kepada penyokong-penyokong SMG bahawa dia akan membawa SMG untuk top 4. Tapi bukan top 4 tapi sebagai champion MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 kali ini. Dan guys, kita sudah sampai ke penghujung hari. Dan untuk pengetahuan anda semua, MPL Malaysia musim ke-8 kali ini dikuasai oleh Muntun, Power Up with KFC, diserahkan oleh Rexonamen, Digital Telco Rasmi Yudu, raikan bersama Nescafe. Penaja lokasi kita kali ini iaitu Tropicana Convention, rakan isukan TikTok, WeTV, Secret Lab dan juga Esports Chat.
Yes, dan kita lagi sekali nak ucapkan terima kasih kepada semua sponsor. Terima kasih kepada semua penonton dan kita akan berjumpa lagi di M3.